Welcome to the
Action.
Tuning In podcast with Mark Project. We explore a wide range of topics to inspire and inform. I'm your host, Jay Wells, and as always, here with my homie, Mixman Shawn. Shawn, say what's up to the people.
Some
Oh,
people.
he's got the remix with him today. Hey, today we have a friend and a returning guest to the podcast, the outstanding and talented Shawn. Shaw, say what's up to the people, bro.
What's
Welcome.
up, people? Thanks
Welcome
for having
back.
me.
Welcome back, brother.
Last time we were here, that's episode number 8. We went deep into some of your music background and some other. We hit on quite a bit of stuff. If you guys are interested, go check out episode 8, man. But give the people just a quick rundown, a little bit of your history, and then we'll jump into our conversation today, bro.
Absolutely. Well, I think I don't really have like a big online presence, but most people who know of me or the things that I've done know me as years that I spent as a music producer.
Hmm.
Still I am a musician, still, produce music, but not on the level that I used to. I started a record label back in 98. Um, the only artist that we had on the label really the only artist that we ended up pushing was us. It was a group that we called Bohemia.
Yeah.
And that group eventually segued into one solo artist. And, for those of you who follow him or listen to him, you know the story. Other than that, I've started several businesses, coconut water company, a graphic design company, which I still run,
Hell yeah.
and a couple other small businesses. I'm, just a creator at heart, somebody who never wanted to work for anybody, always wanted to work for myself. And I've managed through thick and thin to do that,
Hell yeah.
even though it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
But, above all, I'm a husband and a father. That's, where most of my focus goes to. And that's, the one thing that I pride myself in the most.
Hell yeah. No doubt, bro. The entrepreneur grind, man. That's hard.
It,
Trying to.
yeah,
Shawn, you okay
absolutely.
over there?
Oh yeah.
Good stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta clear my throat, bro. Let me clear my throat. See, we're gonna talk
You
about
feel
rap
me?
today. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Hey,
do it.
we're gonna talk about some hip hop today for sure, for sure. You know what I mean? We got too many
Let's
people
get
in
into
here
it.
in this conversation that have an affinity for that. Um,
Yes.
do you want to save that for the end, or y'all want to get into hip hop right now?
Whatever you feel is gonna flow. Let's do
All
it.
right, let's hit it. Okay, last time we were in here, we did talk about some of our inspirations and things like that, and I remember we were cracking up talking about graffiti and
Mm-hmm.
some of the b-boy stuff and everything.
A lot of
Um,
lot of ninja shit.
yeah, ninja shit.
Yes.
And then in our chats in between, we had talked about, what are we going to talk about next time and everything. So Shawn just wanted to do this Mount Rushmore idea. So we want to hear
Mm-hmm.
Sha One. I got 3 Mount Rushmores for you. Well, I guess we'll call it that, but we'll do like a top 5 kind of a segment right here. So top 5 rappers. Who's your top 5 rappers? Start with Sha
Okay.
One.
Okay. Definitely. Rakim, number one.
Hell yeah.
Um, 50 Cent.
Okay.
50 Cent. Um, Nas. Uh, Eminem. And I I have more than 5. I have
Yeah,
more than
no
5.
doubt.
So I'm trying to go through. I'm trying to sort through like which one. I mean, Tupac. Tupac definitely. Here's the thing for my top. So those are my top 5. Those are
Okay.
definitely my top 5. But my reasons are not. It's not lyrical. It's not like purely lyrical. Obviously, lyrical skills has a lot to do with it. Obviously, delivery, like how you spit, has to do with it. But to me, it's also impact on hip hop culture. How big was your impact on the hip hop culture, or is your impact on the hip hop? How big is your impact on society in general? You know, outside of hip hop, like were you able to transcend? Just
Yeah, no doubt.
outside of hip hop. To me, it's like the whole package. Your presence, your influence on people, and so like we start with Rakim. He gets the number one slot simply because personally he's not the first rapper that I got into, but out of the group of the first rappers that I started listening to, he was the first one that was incredibly lyrical.
Yeah,
like
true.
skill wise, like he was doing shit that
He took it out of that like took it out of the disco era, you know?
in the late 80s and early 90s, a lot of rappers were still very like sort of simplistic with the way they rhymed, right?
Yep.
They
Like Sugar
just
Hill
weren't,
Gang.
yeah, and they were just kind of going with the, it sounded cool and everything, but they weren't really like pushing themselves to their edge, you know.
Yeah.
But Rakim was so lyrical, like the way he would rhyme multi-syllabic words, and then he would rhyme with a word here, and then three words later, he would rhyme, come back to that word, and then
Yeah.
he wouldn't stray from a subject and then suddenly turn onto another subject. He would keep it on point. He was just so ahead of his time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And that's
and I think maybe you'll agree with me on this, but one thing I know about Rakim, because I feel very similar to you on your take on Rakim, is that it seemed like, I mean, I was a little kid, but when I got into music, I kind of observed those things too. But like with Rakim, it was like the first rapper that kind of like set himself apart from the DJ. You know, he had the Eric B and Rakim, but
mhm,
really he stood out in front. He was like the front man. And rappers, you know, you had Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, you had groups and you had these things, but you didn't have like a front man
right,
because it was his ability to shred that fucking mic and write these rhyme schemes that nobody could even imagine before him.
right.
It
And
like pushed the lyricism into hip hop beyond, like you said, party music to now it's thinking music, and it's like stuff happening in the streets that are in the culture into the music, and that's the change that I saw with his music.
yeah, yeah. And when I listen to his songs, even now, like if I go back to, you know, like his old stuff, Microphone Fiend, Let the
Hmm.
Rhythm Hit Him, any of those old stuff, like I was listening to actually, I forgot the song where he basically paints a picture. I was listening to it recently. He's talking about how he gets on the train and he meets this girl. I want to
Yeah.
know what's on your mind. That's what he was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mahogany.
Oh, Mahogany too.
Yeah.
And but he paints this a whole picture. It's like a movie. Like you're
Yeah.
watching it as you listen to it. And Nas is one of those
Oh yeah,
rappers
yeah.
who does that too. You know, like he wiped the blunt ash from his clothes. Like when
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said that line, Nas said that. I was like, I pictured that. And you know, that's why Nas is in there too. But like 50 Cent to me is um the reason why, see, I don't understand why more people don't have him in the top five. You know,
Yeah.
Eminem too. He should be up there too.
Real quick, remember that Eminem song? If I wasn't alive, would I say I am?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
That's Rakim.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
the R, the K I am. If I
Yep.
wasn't alive.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
yep. And
Yeah, it's crazy. You got both of them in the top five, and one inspired the other.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
see, I bet you if you talk to a lot of these rappers, like well-known rappers, and say who was your inspiration, Rakim would be one of them. You know,
Yeah, most of the top ones for sure.
yeah. But like 50 doesn't get enough credit to me. Like to me, he's, you know, I was talking about this earlier with Mix, is like he's still alive, he's still thriving, he's still,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, relatively young, he's healthy, he's out there making moves. So he's still like in his prime in a sense, just not in hip hop, but in other ventures, right? You know? And so I think people sort of forget how legendary his music was, you know,
Yeah.
like his album Ready to Die, I mean Get Rich or
Get
Die
Rich or Die
Trying.
Trying. Yeah. Come on.
It's a movie, man.
It was a
It's a
fucking
movie.
game changer. It actually was a movie.
Classic album.
You don't hear shit like that anymore. They don't make
Yeah.
albums like that anymore.
Yeah,
And
the album is I'll ask this question later. Go ahead.
you know, so yeah, that's my top five right there. You know,
All right, hold on.
and but
Recap it. Who was it again?
so
Rakim.
it's Rakim, it's 50 Cent, it's
Nas.
it's Eminem, it's Rakim and 50 Cent are sort of like the top two. The rest of them it could go in any order, but
Got
it's
you.
Eminem, Nas, and what did I say? Oh, Tupac.
Tupac.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Sorry, Pac.
All eyes on me.
That's because usually people they always say Tupac is like zero, and then one, two, three,
Tupac,
four. Like
yeah, Tupac
everybody
is
has
it's
Tupac.
like default. But the thing
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
we're from the Bay, man, and like to me, Pac is from the Bay.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me, he's from the Bay. Even though he was from New York, he was from Baltimore, he was
Yeah.
from LA. But to me, he's from the Bay. I remember going to Digital Underground concerts when he
Right.
was rocking with them.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he's in my opinion, he's from Oakland.
What's your
I got
favorite
you.
Tupac song, production wise? Not lyrically. What's your favorite Tupac song, production?
I like So Many Tears. I know that's a weird one. A lot of people would never choose that one. But I just felt like, well, I mean, shit, dude, anything from like All Eyes on Me and all of that shit was amazing production. But
Yeah.
like
The double LP.
to me, like for me, it's like when I hear it, if it moves me, if it really like makes me go into this weird state of mind where I'm like,
Yeah.
I forget that I'm doing other shit, like driving, like I'm just thinking about this song. And So Many Tears does that for me.
I like I really like the changes beat. I don't know why. It's like
Yeah.
a fast beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost techno-ish. It's got simple like piano thing.
Dun
But
dun dun. Dun dun dun.
I really like that. Even as an instrumental, that beat.
Yeah, it was a good sample.
Oh yeah, it's a clean ass beat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He had some amazing production.
Well, yeah, and here the variety too. Like, I think all the artists that you mentioned, they have a variety of style that they present, you know, and they also demonstrated growth and weren't like,
and longevity too.
Like, yeah.
None of those artists are like any of those artists. You ask a kid who was born in like 2010,
yeah,
they're still gonna know who those guys are. Maybe
yeah, for sure.
Rakim, it might be not that he doesn't have longevity, but he's definitely like a hip hop head.
Yeah,
if you're into hip hop, you know Rakim.
Yep.
But those other guys, like some old lady in Indonesia knows who 50 Cent is.
Right, because he's got he's a brand.
Yes, and I forgot. I want to give a extra nod to Lil Wayne. Like I think Lil Wayne is definitely underrated. I think Lil Wayne lyrically and like with his metaphors and his flow and just sort of the way he has managed to like he's definitely a brand in himself.
Yeah, it's a lot like 50 Cent if you ask me.
He's a very recognizable figure, not just in hip hop, but just on earth.
His celebrity levels through the roof.
At one point, he was on every feature.
Because he's like
he was Drake before Drake.
Yeah, he doesn't write, he doesn't write his shit. Like he just comes up with it in his head. He's a very he's as big as he is, he's still underrated in my opinion.
He's also melodic too. Like 50 Cent's melodic.
Yeah.
You know, like because you hear Lil Wayne like sing almost. He does sing.
Lil Wayne is a very musically talented.
He's person. Creative as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing. None of that shit is by accident.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
No doubt.
I appreciate that.
All right, pivot. I got to pivot now before we move off Sha One's list. Okay, rappers sometimes are solo, and when we make these lists, we forget that some of these dudes are in groups. So, who are your top 5 groups of hip hop groups?
Ooh. Okay.
By the way, Eminem has a band. 50 Cent has a band.
Right.
I'm the lead singer of my band.
I mean, shit. I would put G Unit up there. And this is in no particular order, but G Unit, and this is more because these people had a huge influence on me. You know? Not necessarily like I wasn't the biggest Young Buck fan, but like when you put them all together,
it was the G Unit.
You know, Lloyd Banks, 50, and all those guys. Like
I loved it.
It was great, man. Like
it was awesome, bro. I wore their clothes and everything.
Production, and, man, the way those albums production wise.
Could you imagine what if G Unit never broke up? What if they never beefed with Game? Like that attempt at introducing him into the G Unit, and then like later on, who else did they add? They added fucking
This lady, Olivia.
nah, bro, killer ass rapper, a New York guy. Oh fuck,
What's the name?
you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
Kid?
Spider Love?
Nah, man,
Was it Kid?
I'm gonna have
I
to
don't know, man.
I'm gonna have to tap into Jaime. But who's next? Who's next? You got G Unit up there?
I would say, I mean, NWA, because they kind of paved the way for all that, you know, for like the West Coast rap, and everybody else kind of follows suit. Um,
True that.
I used to listen a lot to Public Enemy. I'm going way back.
Oh no, dude,
Public
got to.
Enemy was dope. The Beastie Boys were dope. Uh, but you know, you're talking groups like
Bone Thugs.
oh, Bone, yeah.
Bone Thugs.
Bone, I would put them up there.
Hell
Bone
yeah.
was amazing, man. They were
Really
again, they're ahead of their time, and nowadays, some people sound just like them. You know,
Oh,
Yeah,
the timing
that's true.
wise, the way they rap,
and
like
the harmonies
triplets.
and the melodic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
think that there. It's funny how everything has shaped out what hip hop has
Like,
shaped out to be.
I would compare Bone Thugs to like the Migos.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They influenced a lot of people, man. I mean, even before, because we were talking about how Nelly kind of used to get made fun of because he was singing basically.
Right.
He's like more in the rap category. But now, but Bone was doing that. But they just
Yeah.
put something about the way.
But you
they
can't
did
make
it.
fun of them because they were Thug Life. They were
Something about the way they did it. Yeah, you
yeah,
couldn't. You
they were with
couldn't-
Easy E. What are you gonna do?
even if you're like a hardcore, just strictly
Yeah.
rap, you know, backpack wearing rap dude.
Well,
When you hear Bone, it's like
Crazy Bone.
You got to listen to it.
Crazy Bone music was just fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was like behind the scenes on a lot of their tracks doing production,
Yeah.
and then he's just a killer. He did a solo album like totally obviously beyond their prime. It was like after G Unit was already, the main thing, but he did a solo album that I bought it and it was hella fire. Like,
Yeah.
and then the other guys they did like collab albums with dudes from Pac's group.
Outlaws.
The Outlaws.
The Outlaws, they would collab on shit all the time. They did collab albums. It was really good music, but it's not getting
Yeah.
wasn't getting the mainstream push, but it
Mhm.
still had the 90s vibe to it, so I still rocked with it. It was hella
Right.
good.
Right.
Hella good.
Yeah, that's
Dope.
a good question, man. The group thing. I never actually even.
And I mean, Outkast.
Oh, Outcast. Yeah.
I fuck with Outkast a lot. The early shit.
The
I liked it.
ATLians.
It was so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolling up, slamming
Those
Cadillac
two
doors.
Did you hear
and
the new album, the Eminem album?
That new Eminem album is fire. It's
Yeah,
really fucking good.
I got
And-
to hear some of it.
He's reached a level, like he's gotten better.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If that's even possible. He was already
It's possible, clearly.
incredible, but he's gotten better. Like his lyrical just creativeness is unmatched.
I don't know why people still try to fuck with him. I
Real
don't get
quick.
it.
Right.
Who would do that?
Um,
He's like
maybe
a
they
real
never
life.
flicked
He's
it.
like a real life rapping
The Game?
Cartman.
the
Yeah, the
game,
Game.
was saying he is better rapper than Eminem. I was like, that makes no sense in my head.
He still believes it. The Game made a whole diss track. The whatever he called it, the Slim Shady thing. He tried to flip it on him.
Yeah, but he's not better of a rapper than
It's
Eminem.
because he was trying to do that with 50, and he was trying 50 didn't bite, and then he's
Yeah.
like, let me go to Eminem.
He was baiting him.
like-
But it was funny because I think it was Drink Champs or one of those other podcasts. There was an older clip, and he's like, "Oh, I would never do a rap beef with Eminem. That was one I would never F with, blah, 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 blah." But then, like, a couple years ago, he did it. It's like, what a flip-flop. And it's like,
Yeah, but he didn't prove that he was better.
no. And then he didn't even get a response.
Nobody, yeah, exactly.
He still
Yeah.
hasn't responded.
And the thing is, like, Eminem is extremely intelligent. Like, you can't be that, and you can't be that lyrical and not be a person who knows how to strategize.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna beef with him, it's not just gonna be like, oh, I say something insulting about you, and then you say something insulting about me. He's gonna sit there and think it over. Okay,
Yeah.
is it worth going into this? And if it is, let me do some investigation, like Kendrick Lamar. Like let me
Oh
get
yeah.
into all the weeds and find the most, you know,
It's
meaty part of the bone, right? And
yeah.
then I'm gonna just
You can even listen to a Eminem song 10 times and catch all his double entendres.
I have to pause his
You
music.
can't.
I gotta
You
pause it, dude.
Yeah, you got to
But
have
yeah,
AI. You have to AI analyze that thing for you.
Yeah.
if you like lyrics, like his
Yeah.
shit is the best. Like he's all about lyrics.
Yeah, and he also doesn't give a fuck. So that's why I like it because I'm like I'm tired of listening to all the squeaky clean shit that's oh, let me
Yeah,
see what the algorithm's going to give me. Nah, man, I like
that's
the
why he rap
experimental
to some crazy
recklessness.
beats.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he'll rap to some techno ass beats, like totally
Yeah.
random, but it'll be hella
What I
lyrical.
liked about this newest one he did was it was like that. Like you said, it was so thought out. The whole thing is this concept of he's his Slim Shady character killing the Marshall Mathers character throughout
Yeah.
the whole fucking thing. So you got to listen to it from beginning to end to like catch all of the connectedness to all the songs. He has a whole song called Renaissance on the album.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a chorus.
Nothing. It's just
It's a minute
bars.
and 38 seconds of just
He
rapping.
doesn't need to do that. He's not trying to sell
No,
himself. He doesn't need to.
no, he's big enough to do whatever the fuck he wants. But and he
Exactly.
still clowns on he still says hard R words like the retard. He still says midget. He still says all kinds of whatever the fuck he wants.
He said, "Fuck that."
You know what? That's got to be very.
This is
I
gonna
bet you
be
that contributes to his lyrical ability because he knows that he has no boundaries. There's no
yeah,
restrictions. No one's gonna cancel him, and it doesn't matter
That's what he
if
said.
he got canceled.
yeah,
It wouldn't fucking matter.
That's the
yeah.
opening of the song.
He still
get canceled.
you remember the movie 8 Mile, how he does that? He beats his opponent to the diss of himself.
Right.
So
What
what
was
you
that
gonna
dude's
say
name?
now?
Papa Doc.
I already
Doc.
said everything you're gonna say, so what you gonna say now?
Right.
And then so he does that all the time, and what are the haters gonna do? You can't diss him worse than he just dissed himself, and he don't give a fuck.
I remember when he hit it on Moby. He's like, nobody listens to techno.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I want to
But
stay
he's
on.
been
I want to stay on the list thing though. Can we stay
oh
on
yeah.
the list thing?
Yeah,
All right.
yes.
Hey, okay, we're stay on the list because I got other ideas for the list that I want to hear from you, your
What about you
perspective.
guys though? I want to hear some lists from you.
Yeah, I definitely want. Let's chime in together, and then we
Well, a
go
lot
around
of
the
the
room.
shit is
We'll ke-
gonna replicate. Like
we could
whatever
go.
you say.
Let me do one more list, and then we'll go around the
Yeah.
room, and we'll kick ours back to you.
Yeah.
But we're trying to hype up Sha One right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So
You're
this
the
one
guest.
now, so we did the artist, the rapper, we
Mhm.
did the groups. Now, top 5 producers in hip hop.
Ooh,
Okay.
tell me when.
And this could be just, like all these lists, just your favorites. Like, what do you like? What are your
Mhm.
top 5s? Because
I mean,
most of these
mine
people
are
won't know.
probably sort of run of the mill.
Yeah,
Because it's definitely Timbo,
right?
the Neptunes,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
Pharrell, and Chad too.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
I like Manny Fresh. I'm just talking
Get
basically these are the guys
loose.
that just influence me.
Right, no doubt.
I do like I like a lot of the stuff that Justice League put out.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. I mean, I like some of the old school stuff, like really old school, like Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis type of like R&B stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guys. I mean, I can only speak for like who influenced me the most, and it was definitely Timberland and um, and like Pharrell,
Yeah.
and those guys. And it's the thing is like at the time that they were really making a name for themselves is when we were out there too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just get it
And
started.
so yeah, and so I would sort of soak up their energy, their style, and their what they were doing. They were so creative and so
Yeah.
like they were like what we were saying about Eminem. They seem to have no boundaries. They would put in,
Yeah.
he would Timbo would put in like a little baby sound or some crazy sample that he found, and
Yeah.
and it was like no one was doing that, and so it just inspired me so much.
Hell yeah.
I would
So
say Neptunes and Timberland, like most, like every beat is so unique. Like
Yeah.
they spent so much time on this beat. None of their beats are like just whatever. Like there's so much going on.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, you know what? I found out watching that Netflix hip hop documentary. Timberland and Pharrell are related.
Oh,
what?
okay.
Yeah, and then like they influenced each other getting into music.
Mm-hmm.
Hella cool.
That's cool, man. Yeah, and you know, like I love Scott Storch too,
Yeah,
and Dre.
Scott
But like,
Storch is hella funny in the studio, like on his Instagram. He's just smoking so much you can't even see. He's just like a
right.
blur. I think there's a piano in there somewhere. He's like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's always reminiscing. He's like, that one time when I was working with Dre, and he's like, hold on.
yo,
He doesn't even finish what he's
real
saying. He
quick,
just starts playing.
sidebar. What's your favorite Scott Storch beat?
Oh, bro.
I have one. I'm gonna already say mine, bro.
What
I
is it?
can't. I can't not say it's not from Chronic 2001.
Bro,
It has to be for me.
the Roots with the
Oh.
where the Eve is rapping too on that song.
Oh yeah,
That Erica Badu one.
Yeah.
You got me.
yeah.
That's a Scott Storch beat. Can you believe that?
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff out there that you didn't even know was him.
Because he used to be with the Roots.
Hell yeah.
Bro, that beat.
Yeah.
Like that, I always liked that song, but when I found out like fucking Scott Storch is behind it, I was like, crispy ass beat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. No.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so that would be I don't know, that's probably more than 5, but
Yeah.
that was
It's a loose 5.
yeah.
All right, Shawn, what about you, man? What about your rappers?
Oh shit. Oh damn. Definitely gotta put 50 in there.
Yeah. Not
Like, 'cause,
Mixman,
like,
Shawn?
no, that dude sucks.
No, you don't.
um 50 for sure.
Yeah.
Like, people know him from like the new stuff, the TV and this and that, but like, bro, when he was just rapping, his shit was like the best.
Yeah.
Like he really know how to put an album together, has a theme, the skits. I was even telling Shaw earlier, like the opening
Yeah.
of Get Rich and Die Trying is 2 quarters they just dropping on the
Mm-hmm.
what a fucking opening.
Yeah.
Like, and then
It's
the
perfect.
whole album.
On cue. It's like or on brand for what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I just like the way he puts together any project he puts together. It's really, really, really fucking great. Like,
Fine
Yeah.
tune.
he doesn't cut
Right.
corners. It's quality,
He's not gonna put some bullshit out there.
and
Yeah.
he's melodic, so he's definitely he knows what he's doing musically and lyrically,
Right.
and that shit is obviously gonna help your song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's singing all the hooks. Like even when he is just doing the hook on somebody's song, let's say like The Game, or
Yeah.
that song is already it's already a song before even Game started rapping.
Right. Right.
You
For
know
sure.
what I mean? 50 really brings something crazy to the table. Like that's why Dre signed it. He's like, yo, after Snoop and then like fucking 50 ran this shit for a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I gotta put him there. Obviously Eminem, because if we're talking about rappers, like this fool just raps.
Yeah.
Hella raps. Like this dude just fucking scrambles the shit out of
Yeah.
dictionary every time.
He writes his own fucking words.
Yeah, and then if we're just talking rappers, let me just throw Kendrick in there because like recently,
Yeah.
he's been rapping.
Yeah.
And his lyrics and the way he makes his songs are like they're personal, they're real songs.
Right.
Yeah.
Like his shit, like that dude's like he's a poet. You know what I mean? His shit is it makes you think. It's amazing. So that's 3, and I mean I could put billions, not billions, at least 1,000 rappers in there.
Yeah.
So 2 more or 1 more? We'll
2
do
more.
top 5. 2 more.
Yeah.
Who else? Damn, bro. There's so many. Like, if you just think in lyrics,
There's too many.
there's too many. And like everybody has a different style too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll throw in Lil Wayne in there too because when he impacted so many people, like
Yeah.
before trap came about. You know what I mean? That like Lil Wayne was kind of like the big dude in there.
The Hot Boys and all that.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll put Jay-Z, Nas, and Tupac like easy in there, but like I always do that. I'm trying to pick like different people.
Right.
Certain people I just like them for their style, like
Right.
not necessarily like what they say. It's just how they say. Like Trick Daddy, and fucking Drew Down. It's just the way they rap.
Drew Down, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
It's like
It's the
they don't
vibe
have
that
to be
they
the most
create.
lyrical, but it's like the way they hop on the beat. It's just
Yeah.
the way that they use their voice as an instrument. They really become a part of the beat, and they fucking they make the song more enjoyable.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah, Drew Down was dope.
Hell, he's breaking that song. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
You know.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know.
Starting to dance over
he
it.
just fucking slides on them.
He didn't even seem like a rapper. Like he seemed like someone who did other stuff, and then he just got on some beat.
He just showed up.
You know?
He just yo, what you got over here?
E40 just to close off my list. I'll put E40.
Yeah, E40.
Yeah.
And Locksmith, if we're talking lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Fucking goes off.
Locksmith.
I'm just doing it to get my list up.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible list, but it's just like the more you think about it, the more you
start at Exactly.
What about Tech Nine? What about
Yeah, you could put different people on different lists for different reasons.
Commercial rappers, you pick your like lyrical dudes, you pick your melodic guys.
That's why I say like it can't just be about lyrics. It's got to be. It's multifaceted. There's other elements that play a part in like why you like someone.
Yeah, when you're trying to produce a.
Some people would make a list based off of who is the most successful, like in record sales or whatever.
Yeah,
that's how they define it. Some people's like, you guys, what impact did they have? You know what I mean?
See, like, some of those guys like Eminem and 50 and like Nas and stuff, they're actually they hit high marks in everything.
Yeah.
Record sales, lyrical ability, storytelling.
Yeah.
Punchlines, everything. Image. But I forgot to I would put Big Daddy Kane in there too.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
He's from that era, that Rakim era.
Yep, of course.
And
they were the back and forth.
Yeah, and he was also very lyrically ahead of everyone else. Him and Rakim,
True.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane he's not another one who's underappreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Shawn.
One thing real quick.
Yeah.
If Rakim had fucking 50 Cent's beats, oh my god.
But his beats, I mean, he had beats and like he had Paid in Full.
So
like he had I Ain't No Joke. Like all those beats are.
Well, Rakim got signed to Aftermath, and Dr. Dre and Rakim were working on a track.
Right.
Or they were working on an album, but they ended up only ended up releasing one full song, but they ended the project because of creative differences. So yes and no. But also 50 Cent's beats weren't coming straight out of the Aftermath factory, because he was actually Eminem's artist on the Shady Records. So it was like part of it, but Eminem actually produced a lot of tracks on 50 Cent shit and helped and co-wrote a lot of that shit. So that's why like it took him to a whole nother level.
Different, but like the production in the 90s got to a level.
Yep. G-Funk was my favorite shit.
G-Funk? Oh, yeah, for sure.
My favorite shit.
Actually, speaking of groups, 213,
213.
Dogtown, those guys.
Yep.
They were putting out some amazing stuff, man. Like Rough and Daz.
I mean, you couldn't even do a song in the 90s unless you had Nate Dogg singing on it.
Yeah, so like I would put them up there too as far as groups. I actually kind of wish. Oh, and Naughty by Nature. Damn,
there's too many groups, bro. That's why you can't help yourself.
Too many, man. But
what about you, Josh?
Well, you got to tell me you got to do your producers first, Shawn.
Oh, producers?
Yeah, send it.
Okay,
you didn't even do groups yet, did you? No, you just did rappers. You still got you got to do
Okay.
groups and then producers.
I'll make it super quick. Groups. Let's do Bone Thugs.
Okay,
Let's do Wu-Tang.
Oh,
gotta have the Wu Tang.
Right.
Wu-Tang, man.
Let's
Got
do
to.
Outkast.
Outkast.
Yep.
Let's do Cash Money, like the Bling
Yeah.
Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else was out here?
There were the Hot Boys back then.
The Hot Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bling bling. Freshman year.
Yeah. And I put the Dog Pound in there.
You put the Dog Pound in there. Nice.
Yeah. That's
Hell
my
yeah.
five. And the producers: Timbo, Neptunes, Dre, early Kanye, and
Early Kanye. You want like the new shit?
not too much. Like his production when he was sampling and shit, it was different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Like that beat is too. That is like the way he sampled it. Take the bass line now, like whatever those those
energy.
Were, yeah.
He found the energy. And
I think secretly I think one of my favorite Kanye albums is the 808s and Heartbreaks.
Yeah, like his production
changed. My secret favorite.
Then his production became like everybody else's. You couldn't.
Or did everybody else's become like his?
That's what happened. but you know, there was a difference. Like early Kanye. Okay, I'll throw in one more.
Yeah, no doubt.
Damn, bro. Like Pete Rock, his shit was
Just Blaze.
Just Blaze.
Just Blaze.
And Swiss Beats.
Swiss Beats is on everything.
That more than complete the list.
Yeah. He did like juvenile shit when he was popping off and everything too.
Oh, Manny Fresh.
He was doing all that.
Yeah, you can't leave Manny out, man. Like that dude.
Yeah. Nobody used 808s like he did. When he first came out, like banging, bro. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we could go region by region, like,
and era by era. And this subgenre by subgenre. There's a lot of ways you could break shit down, but I mean, it's all about what you see. I mean, obviously, we got other stuff to talk about, but we're throwing our lists together. My lists are going to be based off of what I listen to most in my life and who I enjoy most in my life. So when it comes to rappers, my number one rapper is Rakim. As soon as I discovered hip hop, I mean, obviously
one of Rakim CD.
Yeah. So I discovered hip hop through funk music because I had funk music at the house on cassettes and records and shit. You know, like listening to the radio, hot songs in the 90s, early 80s as a kid, you hear all the background music. That's what got me into music. Playing instruments, I wanted to make the music in the back of these rap songs, you know? And then you hear them on the records, Stevie Wonder samples or whatever samples are in the background of the song. So I had a lot of records at my house. So I'd play old music and then I'm like, dang, this is in here. So when G-Funk popped off, it had a lot of the funk music in it. So I was like really, really into those rappers in the 90s. So Ice Cube is probably, I probably listen to him more than I listen to Rakim now. But in my life, I listen to both of them a lot. I love Ice Cube is talk about people that are underrated. People underrate Ice Cube all the time because he doesn't do like double entendres and shit like that. But I don't think there's a more brilliant song ever written in hip hop than Today Was a Good Day. Oh, yeah. The way that plays out is just like fucking unstoppable, bro. I didn't even have to use my AK. You know what I mean? You could just slide that in.
Skip. When that song comes on, if it's on the radio, you're gonna leave it.
Right.
And then if it's just playing, you won't skip it. That beat's so beautiful. Yeah. And the way he's just describing his day. Like it's just like a bomb ass day he had.
And the thing is like you feel like you've had days like that. You know what I mean? And it makes you feel good and it makes you feel like oh shit, I had a fucking good day too. Yeah. So I like Ice Cube for that fact, but also just like, I mean, the dude just a killer, bro. He's in movies, he's writing movies, he was behind the scenes. He pushed himself out of NWA because he's like, fuck it, I can do this shit. You know what I mean?
Real quick, like I like a lot of flow.
Yeah.
Like from rappers, like I expect them to be lyrically hella good, and then I want them give me a crazy ass flow.
Yeah.
For some reason, Too Short and Ice Cube,
Yeah.
their flow remains the same. Like almost
Yeah.
It's, I mean, everything rhymes. The structure is perfect, but they don't, like 50 Cent, comes with the flow like it's a flow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, hell yeah.
Too Short and Ice Cube. I guess maybe they're from the same era. They rap very similar. Like they rhyme.
Yeah.
Like they lack a little bit of flow, I guess.
They land on the kick and the snare.
Yeah.
every
And
time.
it's like it's a really great rap, but it doesn't do the little.
Yeah. But what they do is what makes them what kind of counterbalances that is like what Josh was saying, is they're both really good at creating these like
Storytelling.
creating these like visions in your mind when you're listening to when you listen to Today Was a Good Day.
Mm-hmm.
You can picture his whole experience,
right,
from when he gets up in the morning. And like Too Short is really good at that too.
Yep.
People underrate his Too Short, like he's known mostly for talking about like the pimp stuff and the
strippers.
But actually, if you
blow the whistle.
If you go through his catalog though,
I know.
He's got a ton of like some of the stuff he did for like movie soundtracks and stuff. He's not talking about any of that stuff. He's actually like telling stories, and he's like actually really good, man. Like,
woke up one day in Vacaville at my homie's house, fat house in the hills. Yeah, he's got badass songs, bro.
Yeah, and there's a reason why he's still around.
Yep, Shorty the Pimp.
Musical too. He's kind of a producer.
Yeah. I enjoy the funky bass lines and stuff.
But yeah, dude, he's definitely one of the Mount Westmore guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what they called it. For sure. Those are
like I think
two of my top guys.
It's the way they record too, because they. I'm just guessing. Like when they used to record, probably the mics weren't that sensitive, so they really just had to spit it. Because when you listen to Jay-Z rap, it's a different approach. Like you see his tone change. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the New York sound, though.
Maybe
New York sound and West Coast sound was different. Like Ice Cube sound is the West Coast sound. Too Short's sound is the Bay Area West Coast sound. They're a little bit different, but they're a little bit the same. But they broke away from the model of the New York sound, and I think both of them innovated shit in their own ways, though. You know what I mean? Like, and they just stuck with what worked. And Too Short changed a lot of his music style. Changed a lot when he moved to Atlanta, big time.
Also, but Atlanta turned around and started using his old styles.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the influence that he carried with him because he had Gravity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, Short's OG. Like, he was doing. I'm not on the radio. I'm in the trunk versus LL Cool J.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was rap beef in the late '80s and shit. So that was dope. You know what I mean? To have a person like that go from one side to the other side and like influence the game.
Yeah.
I don't think mumble rap would be possible without the new mics. Like you couldn't fucking mumble on a mic from the '80s.
It also wouldn't be possible without auto tune. Can you imagine him just mumbling into a regular ass mic and there's no computer making it sound pretty?
Be like, hey, bro, can't hear you louder. You can't mumble loud.
Exactly. So after Ice Cube, I listened to a lot of underground rap, and my favorite underground rapper from the Bay Area is Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Okay. Yeah. So I love Del. Just creative dude, and he's just like, I don't know.
Makes his own beats.
He could pull up to your house with a fucking, drum kit and just be like, "Hey, let's just rap some shit," and you're gonna make a fucking song. You don't have to have big, big studio production and shit. He'll just be out on his Razor scooter, scooting through the town with his headphones on, working on a track. I love that about him.
I've seen him, bro. I've seen him make beats.
He made a song, bro, that said, "Wash your ass if you must, or else you'll be funky." You know what I mean? Like you can't pass that up.
Yeah.
And ironically, he's right after Ice Cube, and he's Ice Cube's little cousin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
remember that one song he had on the radio? What was it, Mr.
Dabalina?
Mr. Bob Dabalina. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was from his.
That was on TV.
Ice Cube produced that album, and then that helped try to get him to the next level. Ice Cube actually put him into a group, try to get him to rap, West Coast thug shit, but it wasn't his
Didn't
thing.
he was part of the Gorillas for a minute too, right?
He did
No,
his
no, no.
songs with the
He did
Gorillas,
one
yeah.
song.
Yeah, they did Clint Eastwood. That was like the big,
Yeah.
I think Grammy nominated song and everything. So it's a funny story about him in his interview. He's like, yeah, I just bought somebody in his family gave him this book on like how to write a hit song, and he just went down the list on how to write a hit song, and he just wrote it for that, and
Yeah.
then it blew up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that producer on that song, hella funny. He just went and he had like a drum machine, and it was like rock drum number 2, and it was the preset drum on Clint
Yeah.
Eastwood. It's the preset drums, doom, doom, and it's just that's it. That was what was doom, doom, doom. All of it, the whole piece into the music was from that preset sound on that drum machine.
It's
It was
not a
hella
band.
funny.
That song right there is actually one of my son's favorite songs.
Yeah,
He has no idea about history, about how old it is. In his mind, he thinks that's a new song.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he heard it one day and he's like, "Oh, what is this?" I just saw
Yeah.
it go off like the light bulb. And then every time we get in the car, he's like,
Yep.
"Put on Gorillas, put on Clint Eastwood."
Yeah, and
Mhm.
to me, Dell is like the sound of underground rap in the Bay Area. For me.
Hieroglyphics.
I sent you guys a song earlier called BMs. Obviously he's rapping about smoking, but it's called BMs because he's talking about Bob Marley's. He was reminiscent of walking through a place that Bob Marley had been once, and he's like, oh, I'm imagining that I'm doing the same thing Bob Marley would have done in this moment. It's a dope
Bro,
ass beat too.
I actually kicked it with him one time, and I
Yeah.
watched him make a beat. I was surprised he was smoking like Indian beaties. I was like, where the heck did you get these from?
7-Eleven.
Yeah, he got them from like some store in
Yeah.
Richmond, and I was like, damn, bro, you got beaties in America? He's like, yeah, he'll make a little beat, go outside, take a break. and I played one of my songs for him. I was like, hey, what do you think of it? He heard it. He was like, who do you listen to? Who's your influence? Like, I was like, I listen to a lot of Jay-Z. He's like, I can tell. Yeah. It was a pretty interesting conversation. But I saw him making a beat. Yeah. It was crazy. He's just kind of a quiet dude. He doesn't say too much.
Yeah, I definitely want to kick it with them. I follow him on YouTube, and he does these backyard kickbacks and like homies roll through. Recently, like Fabby Jr. went over there, and he pulled up on him. He's, oh shit, you're here, and they just messed around. They just freestyle in their house and stuff. That to me is like, that's why I like his hip hop and I like listening to his rap because it's sincere. It's not like I'm going to the factory to create a hit and so we can sell records. Obviously, they want to make money because they want to change their life, but they did that. You know what I mean? In any case, he's definitely one of my top listens in life and a rapper that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, where am I at? 1, 2, 3.
That's
I had Rakim, Ice Cube, Del the Funky Homo Sapien. I love Eminem's music. He's always been somebody that I've enjoyed. I didn't really think that he was as, when you first heard him, he's coming out and you're like, what the hell is this? Because he's on TRL, MTV, and all that stuff. Experiencing these things in real time was different from like people now who see him with the beard and the different Eminem. But we saw Slim Shady, hi, my name is, that's your first introduction. He's literally just doing what you normally do. It's like, hey,
where you went, that song's playing.
Right.
My name's Slim Shady. But like everything that came along with it was just brilliant. And obviously he made the movie 8 Mile. And I think that endeared me to him a little bit more just because it was, based on his coming up and everything, how we got into it. And I think that also was propelled his career in a different direction than it might have gone. So
and the
I enjoyed.
soundtrack was amazing too.
Yeah, it was fire. I mean, that's where some of his most famous shit comes from.
Lose Yourself.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
And
you
just
became an international act after that.
well, yeah, and think about that pivoted hip hop into a whole nother world. To be honest with you, I think it was so powerfully influential. But so that's 4. I got 1 left. Shit, I don't even know. I had a list together in my head, but I'm always changing it. Let's see. I do listen to a lot of Kendrick Lamar. I have for at least the last 10 years. Um, and I still bumping this shit, and I think it's great. I think he's brilliant. So I really enjoy his music. That's my top five rappers that
Okay.
I listen to for sure.
Yeah.
You guys never told me about your favorite Scott Storch beat.
Oh, okay. Since I'm gonna talk about that, I think
Producers.
I told you mine was when on 2001. You know, I remember I
Yeah.
can't even think of the song.
Oh yeah,
Still Dre?
Still Dre.
Still Dre.
Still Dre. Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be mine too.
to me that's my number one. It's just like
And it's one of his more simple like melodies.
It's
know?
two
it's
chords.
just special.
Yeah.
But it's special. Just the way the
It's-
melodicness of it,
Mhm.
it just is the vibe. That is that album. And that album is the 2000s.
He
you
could
know?
have hit that chord straight, but it's just
Yeah.
the little delays that
Yeah.
he has in the notes.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
But
For sure.
That song right there, to me, if you're gonna ever have a West Coast anthem, it's that song.
Yeah. I will agree with that.
Every West Coast song that's ever come out.
Yep.
Yeah, those pianos and the way that they paired it with the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm driving a '64 Impala. With the top down.
There's
Yeah,
palm trees
in
around.
LA
The sun's going
somewhere,
down. Yeah.
That's how I feel. You know?
And that little riff that comes every year.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I love that. That song's hella fire. That's definitely my number one for him. But I also sometimes forget, like producers are on, they got their fingerprints on so many things. Yeah, he did Candy Shop. Oh man, he's done so many good ones, bro.
He did a lot of stuff for Fat Joe too.
Yeah, he's definitely, he actually is one of my top. I'll do producers first since we're on Scott Storch. He's definitely in my top five because he's just, if you just pull up his list of shit, he's just got so many, bro, that are bangers.
Mm-hmm.
Dr.
I met
Dre.
him too one time.
Yeah, Dr. Dre is for sure probably my favorite producer, just because this the quality, the sound of his music, the power that it hits with. I think this is just a guess, but if I had a guess, if there's one producer that has the most unreleased tracks, it's got to be Dr. Dre.
Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that because I appreciate the level of detail and attention that he puts into his work. And it just amazing, man. From NWA to all his stuff with Snoop and everything he's worked with, all his artists are all his artists that he has worked with, bro, are like icons of hip hop.
Yep.
At least on the West Side, you know what I mean?
For the next category,
Yeah.
can we do our least favorite rappers?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely got a few. No, so yeah, who I had so yeah, Scott Storch, Dr. Dre. I got one of my favorite is from the Bay Area. I like Rick Rock, the Rick Rock beats. You know, I love
Yeah.
for me, when I was leaving home for the Air Force, that he was like blowing up. He had the Federation. He was doing tracks for E40 and every major artist in the Bay Area.
He did that Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
One of Busta Rhymes' big songs.
Yeah, and I feel bad for not.
Was it the one with Mariah Carey?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For me, he doesn't.
No.
I'm wondering where the hell he's at. I don't even know, man.
He's in Richmond, I think.
I was thinking about it recently because I loved his music. I loved the tracks that he was on. I loved the groups he would work with and stuff. Yeah.
When you hear a Rick Rock beat,
it punches, bro. His shit punches. It rocks just like his fucking name. You know what I mean?
The song with Nate Dogg and Fab.
You
know,
Warren G. And Warren G. Is one of my top producers by far. Like I said, G Funk is, you know, to me my favorite era of hip hop and my favorite sound in all of hip hop. And I think you can't knock him for that. And you know, parallel to him, I'm gonna sneak an extra in because I have to. DJ Quick, I really fucking love DJ Quick. I love him.
Yeah.
This shit was bumping as a rapper too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both of them as rappers too. I like their music. But then to me, somebody that nobody gives a lot of love to because and okay, but I gotta fucking put Little John in there.
Yeah.
The same reason I put Dr. Dre is just the sound. He's a genius.
Yeah.
There's
From
no
the South, it's Manny Fresh and fucking Little.
Yeah,
Little John
is.
He's like an actual savant, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks he's a wild man and shit, but if you go listen, the whistles, what was that song he did with the what's her name?
Sierra,
Sierra. It
the
was like
goodies,
2005, 2004.
goodies.
Yeah, that song. What's the song he did with what's his name? Take
Kitty
your shirt off.
Pablo,
Yeah,
Kitty
Oh
Pablo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
whip around your
Whip
head
around
like
the
a
head like a
helicopter.
helicopter. Yeah,
Come
Yeah,
on,
that's a Timberland beat. That's a Timberland.
is it
yeah.
his? I don't
Yeah,
know.
Okay.
Either way,
he did with the
From
Usher
the
that
window to the wall.
yeah.
that
I
To the
mean,
Timberland.
sun.
all that
Yeah,
stuff at that
Yeah.
era right there. He had the Yin Yang Twins. All the club music
Yin
is
Yang
cool.
Twins. Yeah.
yeah, the crazy 808s and the synths,
I think he
So
opened the doors for a lot of those guys, like who are
yeah,
like
coming
Soldier Boy.
in,
yeah.
and
He
like for generations more.
well,
Like he
yeah, and
opened
then
the door.
in the Bay Area hyphy music, the hyphy era, he was the producer, main producer
Break Rock, yeah, yeah.
on E40's
Mm-hmm.
album. Uh, the what is it called? Ghetto Report Card.
With Rick Rock, beat shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I be what rap, but key beats a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And when that
muscle
went off,
car.
yeah, all that he was involved in that, especially the song with T Pain on the album and everything. So I don't know. That's
You know
those
where
are the
that sample's
guys.
from?
Which one? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's an
Diggable
old school
Planets.
song.
That's Diggable Planets.
Yeah, man, brilliant.
I think that's what they were called. Yeah, Diggable Planets. I like their music too.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah. Groups is easy rundown. I could do a quick easy rundown on groups. Run DMC.
Mhm.
Um, they brought it. Beastie Boys, for sure. I listened to Beastie Boys like all through the '90s. I probably bought their greatest hits twice because I lost it.
Yeah.
Somebody stole it from me and I rebought it. Yeah, and that's how much I liked it. I didn't even steal
Yeah.
it off the internet.
Bro, back
Yeah,
in the days, you only had one or two good CDs a year,
yeah,
and you played the shit
true.
out of it.
Mhm.
Okay, hieroglyphics because that's Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Tajay, a bunch of dudes from Oakland and shit. Those guys are some of my favorites in the rap groups. The Living Legends is another one, and then my last and final group that I fucking love is it was the West Side Connection.
Oh hell yeah, man. Dub
Man,
C.
Gangsters make the world go
Yeah.
round. Come
Oh,
on,
they had some. They
hey.
had some really good music.
So I
in
went
the
and I bought it,
name of the street.
bro. I went and bought the album and I brought it home. And my mom was dating this dude who like does not like rap and stuff. He may have been racist, probably, but he looked at it and he's like, "Joshua, you need to take this back. You were not allowed to listen to this kind of music in our household."
What?
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then and so I fucking copied it to a cassette and I returned it. So I got my money back and I got the album for free.
And you got the album.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That album,
bro.
man.
But the
That
first
was a
West
classic.
Side Connection album was just incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Like Dub C and
Bow
the
Down.
Mac 10 and them guys.
Uh-huh.
I hope they
Yeah.
all can get together again and do it.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube and Mac 10 I think, still a beef with each other. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they get past it and can do a cool reunion show or something.
Yeah.
And you know, I had to squeeze my underground guys in because I just listened to them more, but I love G Unit too. So
Gee.
those are I got too many groups, bro, because fuck. Um shit. I would have to bump people out if I had a true top 5. But whatever. We don't got enough time for all that. Yeah, it's a good chat, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for
it.
sure, man.
You know, back in the day, discovering like a good album was like so dope. Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
like in a year,
Man.
you would have about 2 or 3 good
Man,
albums.
I
That's
fucked
it.
up, bro.
No more than that.
I fucked up.
What happened, bro?
DMX.
Mm.
I can't
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I can't believe it. Well, in any case, to speak of your experience of an album, I just remember my friend, he hits me up. He's like, "Hey, DMX new album's coming out." I don't know which one it was, but we got on our bikes and we rode our bikes like 10, 11 miles to the Tower Records so we could buy the CD when it came out. And
Yeah.
like, it was
You,
that.
you used to have to work for it.
Yeah, man.
It made you appreciate it though.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you just like do this kind of conversation after you listen to it, and it's just like keeps going forever and ever.
Bro,
It's
Sam
crazy, man.
Goodies.
Sam Goody is your
Yeah.
spot, bro. You loved that spot.
They used to have a listening station.
My spot was Rasputin.
I loved Rasputin, dude. At a Rasputin's over in Pleasant Hill.
It
Actually, it was so
Bologna's pizza.
Rasputin's was literally on the other side of the what is it, 680? The other
Yeah.
side of 680
There was a
at
guitar
the
center.
next major intersection from Tower Records. Tower Records, Guitar Center. This is on what is that? Concord
Willow
Boulevard
Pass.
or Willow
Willow
Pass. Willow Pass Road in Concord, and again, then you cross into Pleasant Hill, other side, and now you got a Rasputin Records, Blondie's Pizza
Bologna's
next to it.
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go to because I went to Berkeley High, and they had open campus, so
Oh
during
yeah.
lunch you can just leave campus, and we would leave and never come back. But
Hell yeah.
we would walk up to Telegraph Avenue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Fuck yeah.
we start off at Tower Records, go to Rasputin,
Yep.
Amoeba Records.
Amoeba Records.
I would take Bart out there to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was dope.
and
But it's better. It
actually,
was better in Berkeley though.
it's funny because the guy I would always go with, he was like my good friend at the time, and we were both like big into like hip hop, like graffiti and rap music,
Yeah.
like hip hop, right? And he was this. It's funny because he reminded me we're coming up. I think we're walking down Durant, and we turn. They're doing construction, so you can't see who's around the corner. And we're walking, and we turn around the corner onto Telegraph, and Dell,
Yeah.
he's turning the opposite way, and they run into each other, and my friend just starts freestyling. He doesn't say like, "Oh, what's up? You're Dell." He just starts freestyling, and Dell stops and listens to him, and then he busts a freestyle,
Hell yeah.
and then they just walked, and then he walked and we walked, and
Hell
I'm
yeah.
just like, "What
That's
just
the kinda-
happened? Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "That was Della Funky Homeless." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Like, what the?" And then we just went to the like Amoeba Records or something.
Love it.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's hella funny. That's why I like that. I don't know if that happens in other places, but the Bay Area is kind of like that, especially in the East Bay. I mean, I can only speak for the experiences that we had back in the day, but
Back in the day.
you know, that was just fun. I don't know how it is now. I'll be working too much, and then I'm just like straight to the house. So
No,
don't have those kind of experiences as much anymore.
I
Hopefully,
think
the
it's like
youngsters
that
are.
up there.
I think it is. I think it is for the kids though, because they be on the TikTok and the doing it for the gram and all that other shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're probably out there. But hey man, I got a quote for you guys. You guys ready?
No, Diddy.
No Diddy. He said no Diddy. Oh shit, that's too funny. Hold up, I had it.
That's one rapper that's not in my list. That's why
He's not on your list.
Let's do the least.
He's.
I gotta give Biggie his flowers on that. Biggie.
I mean, yeah, he gets a lot of respect. I just never
Yeah.
listened to him.
Yeah.
Biggie really raps.
I listened to Biggie. I had Biggie and Pac kind of on rotation about the same amount back in those days.
I liked Tupac, but it wasn't. I didn't play him like other people play him. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love his music. I really liked his earlier music more than I liked his mainstream stuff. I liked his double LP because of the production, but I didn't feel
Right.
like there was a couple of songs on there that are really really good, but I liked the rawness of some of the other tracks from his earlier career. And
If I
then
dare say, I would. The one thing I kind of wish we could have heard was, do you remember how almost every song he would double and triple up his vocals?
oh yeah,
He would spit them, go back, respit it, and then go back and like respit it again. And so like I
Yeah.
kind of wish we could hear the same songs, but without all those like layers.
Extra
Just
layers.
his
Yeah.
voice, just one,
yeah,
just one layer. And maybe throw a little reverb or whatever,
yeah.
but
Those
just
little
his one voice, you know.
yeah.
that
Those are,
that was the way they recorded it.
That was his thing, and like he's known for that. But like some of his subject matter is so deep, and like
yeah.
his flow was so, in my opinion, is pretty unique, you know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else had a similar rhyme
And-
pattern. And
I
that's why
wanna hear
people
it.
knock him on his like rapping versus his songwriting. A lot of people
Right.
will not knock him down a peg because of that. Versus Biggie, where Biggie had some lyrical songs too, but mostly I think people elevate him for his flow because he was
Flow.
like a jazz musician, you know, with his flow,
Yeah,
which was
Yeah.
dope. Um, Yeah, man. Hip hop's got some characters, don't it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Fucking
hip hop it's a blessing
yeah.
for music. Can you imagine music without if there was no hip hop?
Yeah. It would be
Like
weird.
what would it be like trance?
I mean, there's shit
Like
tons of
what would it
music.
be, man?
It would be shit tons of music, but it definitely became the pop music of the last 30 years for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, for sure. All right, boys, you want to pivot? Let's pivot.
Yeah.
You had some stuff you wanted to talk about, Shaw, so I got a quote to kind of get us there. So this quote says, "A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there." One of
Mm.
the things you wanted to talk about in our discussion today is living beyond your edge.
Yeah.
So tell us what that means to you, man.
Well, I got that concept from the book, um, The Way of the Superior Man by
Oh
David
yeah,
Dita.
Yeah, that was one of the books you recommended and stuff.
Yeah, that's a to me it's a very important book. Every I think every man should read it. Uh, it's a little dated, but it's the fundamentals of it, the principles are still relevant. I
yeah,
think they always will be. But he talks about um, something that I think all of us go through, not just men but women, humans,
yeah.
is we find these. It's we're sort of we're just we're designed naturally biologically to seek out comfort and to stay
Hmm.
away from painful situations. So within this sort of like modern society, obviously we there are certain pains that we have to face. We got to get up in the morning, go to work. We
Yep.
have to pay bills. We have to do all these things. And so throughout all of that, we're seeking comfortable, at least some level of steady comfort,
Yeah.
you know. And then after a while, you get used to we're us humans, like we adapt to situations. So you're in an uncomfortable situation, but it becomes sort of a routine, and eventually you adapt to it, and you just see that as your life. That's just life, you
Yeah.
know. And before you know it, 5 years goes by, right? And you're just
True.
sort of on cruise, right? Maybe you're getting that promotion, maybe you took that one vacation that you've always wanted to take. But essentially, you're not really like living like what David Dita says. You're not pushing yourself not to the edge, but just beyond that edge. You
Right.
know, really living in the moment and sort of like challenging yourself and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and facing your fears. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, all that stuff. It's so like cliche, right? But I
It's
think it's
cliche
very
for
true.
a reason.
I think it's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
cliche for a reason.
I find myself, I've actually been questioning myself, like, okay, how am I using my time? Am I really pushing myself? Like, I think I have way more potential, you know,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm using my time in such a way that where I'm like avoiding extremely uncomfortable situations. But those
Gotcha.
are the situations that are going to help me grow and maybe discover something new about myself that I didn't know existed, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and I think, like you said, um, being too comfortable and becoming too complacent, it's just, it's just sort of a slow way of killing yourself, you
True.
know? Um, and I'm definitely guilty of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
And
when I was younger, I was way more open to taking a lot of risks and chances. I started a lot of different businesses, and most of them failed.
hmm
Some of them had success, but a lot of them failed. But I was just like pushing myself. I was living at my edge, you know.
yeah.
Um, and I think now I've come to this point in my life where, okay, you know, I'm like things. I got a family. I have a nice home. I've achieved all these things that I kind of like would imagine as I was younger. Um, I'm in a nice neighborhood.
hmm
I got a nice car. Damn. Okay. Is this it?
Yeah.
I mean, how many years are gonna go by, and I'm just doing these things, you know.
hmm
Um, so that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I
No
need
doubt.
some kind of disruption. I need to, and it's up to me to do it. No one's gonna do it
Yeah.
for me. You know.
Yeah, I think that's true. You have to recognize those things within yourself and know not everybody is goal driven. Everybody is not wired that way. I think they have at their basics the basic needs. They're wired for the basic needs, but the mentality of growth, not everybody's wired for that. And I say that because modern society has raised people. So these people, a lot of people in our communities, in especially in America, um, they grow up with everything. All their needs are catered to.
Mm,
Well, there are pockets of communities where they have to be self-sustaining, right? Like they can grow their own crops and they can grow their own. They have their own garden. They have their own food.
yeah.
But I don't see too many people out here pumping their own oil out the ground to fuel their vehicle,
Hmm.
you know? So everybody's relying on some part of this giant system that we have to make things more comfortable.
Right.
Air conditioning, fucking insulated homes, double pane windows, you know,
Hot water.
cushy ass tennis shoes and shit. Like, you think God made us with fucking shoes on our feet? Why we got them? So we can walk more comfortably. So
Right.
we can tread through terrain where our bare feet would get damaged or hurt. There's all these things that we adapt or create to overcome an obstacle or whatever the case may be. But you have to think about, like, okay, that's basic needs stuff. But just sheer satisfaction of enjoying life and getting the most out of life. I listened to the book that you recommended, Way of Superior Man. I like the essence of it. Shawn sent me the link or whatever, told me to listen to it and stuff, and I took away something there that I felt was something I can, I guess, say that I enjoy and that I do, that came out of the book was, I like to think that when we're doing our activities, whatever impact we're trying to make on the world, that we view it as we're giving that gift to the world, you know. And
Yeah.
the book kind of talks about that at a couple spots, and
Right.
it's interesting. It has a lot of psychological tidbits on how the human mind works, and the genders are wired differently genetically, you know. Um, I thought that was pretty neat. That was one of the things that stuck out to me a lot from reading it. And you got to grow, because if you don't, you'll plateau, and nobody wants to be stuck in a rut or whatever they call it.
Right.
And
Right.
at the end of the day, you want to be happy in life. You know what I mean? I don't think there's too many people like, how can I fuck my life up today and be miserable? You know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And also he talks about one of the things that he really focuses on is finding your purpose.
Hmm.
And again, these are all things that we all know, right? We all know
Yeah.
these things, right? But the way he sort of delves into them and defines, his version of these ideas is pretty interesting to me. But he says that you should live your purpose and don't without um, you should live your purpose even if it has an effect on your relationship with your family or your loved ones, because if you're not living your purpose, that's going to have more of an effect on them. They're going to see that you're just sort of coasting through and not doing what you're meant to be doing, and that energy is going to rub off on them.
Yeah, no
um,
doubt.
your wife's going to see that, like, okay, yeah, he's home, yeah, he comes home every day, he's taking care of the kids, he's helping out with dinner, but he's not really living his purpose, and I can feel that energy from him.
Yeah.
you know I can feel that there's something missing in him. He's not out there, like, being who he is, right?
Yeah.
So it's this strange dynamic that you have to figure out how to work through. um, and again, when I read these books, obviously I apply them, the ideas. I sort of reflect on my own
Yeah.
personality and my own experiences. But I think that those two, living your purpose and pushing yourself beyond your edge, are
Hmm.
like two things that, and also, like you said, giving yourself to the world.
Yep.
Um, if you can live by those principles, I think you'll see some extreme
Hell
positive
yeah.
changes in your life over time. You know,
Hell yeah. Shawn, you listened to the book before I did. Did it
Right.
remind you of the icky guy? a little bit?
Probably. Yeah.
Because that's what
Um,
popped into my head when I was listening to a lot. We talk about Ikigai sometimes on the show. We did a whole episode on it. And
yeah, it's that one thing stood out to me as well.
yeah.
Where he talks about like your life. There's a limit. You're here for a limited amount of time.
Hmm.
Like, and he said like nothing you do isn't gonna matter. You know, hundreds of years from now, but you really can't worry about that. Like whatever you do it as a gift to the world. And
Yeah.
I like that. Like as a creative person, we come up with shit all the time. You know what I mean? And I was like, if that's the way I would like to look at it too. Like, just do it and do your best and just do it as a gift. You know what I mean?
Right.
Can't be too attached.
That's
Yeah.
a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's actually to add to what Mix is saying, like you can't take yourself too seriously. I tend to do that myself a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
In 100 years, it's not going to matter.
Right.
So I think you have to kind of just get into the flow of things and just, I think spending time too worried about how other people are what other people are gonna think of you, or like if I go this way, is it gonna affect me this way? If I go that way, is it gonna affect me this way? I think you just need to get out there and just do it. Give yourself to the world.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to take chances. Obviously, you know.
Yeah, that's
About,
where people get really afraid
right.
of making choices sometimes, and um, I don't think that. I think if you have relationships too, people get afraid of making choices within those relationships,
Mhm.
or they don't get afraid and then they fuck shit up too. Either way, but I think that at the end of the day, having purpose in your life, it makes a life worth living. And part of that is that growth period. 'Cause you don't want to be exactly the same all the time. I don't think anybody wants to be like that. For one, we can't be, right? Because things change in life. You sustain an injury, or you have to, take on a different job. Um, Tragedies happen, good fortunate things happen, and it impacts your life. And then you have to judge your character, like, how am I going to deal with this situation? And so, if you hadn't at that point challenged yourself at all, are you going to be ready for those moments when they come? You know what I mean? It's not always about preparing for what you know is coming. Prepare for what you don't know is coming. So when it lands on your lap, you can take advantage of the opportunity or avoid peril.
Right.
Like you guys know David Goggins?
Yeah.
Yeah, callous your mind. He always said he's like, go into the mind lab and figure out what you got to do. The guys like him, and I think he even talked about this with like other podcasters like Joe Rogan, but like doing hard shit every day.
Right.
Like the first thing you do in the morning, get up, do something hard. That way, the rest of the day, you're straight. Admiral McRaven's speech, he's a Navy SEAL guy. He gives and he talks about make your bed. Wake up, make your bed. You can fuck up everything else for the rest of your day, but at least you're coming home to a made bed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just having that willingness, like you said, to fail on things, because you know that at the end of the day, there's a risk that could happen.
Right.
But are you prepared for what happens when you fail? What are you going to do next?
Right.
That's good stuff, man. I think that's
I actually
sets
gotta
you up.
go back and
Send
listen to that book again
listen to it again.
because like
It's a
when
lot
you
in there.
recommended it, I went through it that week,
Yeah.
and it's really not fresh on my memory right now. Like,
Yeah, I listened to it last weekend and a little bit throughout the week.
Yeah, I have a few books that I listen to, like I've listened to multiple times, and I kind of go back and re-listen to them, and I always catch new gems that I missed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I drive a lot, so it's
Yep.
just easier for me to listen as opposed to read, sit in my.
I have
bed and read or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Way of the Superior Man is one of them, and I've listened to it like probably 3 times now. And I plan on listening to it again. And it's not that it's just some like life-changing, amazing, scripture. It's just that there are certain things in that book that really resonate with me, and I feel like they help me grow as an individual. There's other books like that too, but
for sure,
that's one of them.
What do you guys think of this quote? When the student is ready, teacher appears.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's not always a person, I don't think. I think it's just the lesson. Or you're learning the lessons in life. A lot of people just meander their way through life, bro. There's a lot of NPCs out here, just keeping it real. And so I think when you talk about when the student is ready, that's when they have the aha moment. Before that, they might not catch it. They could stumble over that crack on the road 10 times until they decide, oh, I remember that I got to lift my foot here and step over that. Right. You know what I mean? It's just the awareness thing. That's what I think of with your quote.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I think it's important for people to pay attention, as they're experiencing this timeline in life, right?
Yeah.
It's very, you can't, because like you said, there's so many creature comforts. We have nice shoes, we have clothes, we have air conditioning. But it's really important to not get too comfortable and stop paying attention and just let life live itself through you, right? Like you gotta live, and you gotta really like be observant, ask questions, be curious. All of those things are important because you'll start to like realize a lot of things about this experience and about yourself as well. And I try to teach my kids that, like, we pretty much set everything up for you. You guys are real comfortable, but you need to you need to focus and pay attention. Not all the time, but if you see something that catches your eye, explore it.
Yeah, be curious about it. Figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I like that.
I got another one. I sent you this one like a couple of days ago.
You send it to me?
Yeah. I said we should discuss this, but I feel like we should discuss it while Shaw's here too, because I know he'll have good input and he'll really. It's about the originality.
Okay.
The Benjamin Franklin quote. Should we get into it?
Yeah, send it, bro. Spit that.
Because we're all involved in arts, and there's always question about like being original, or like, you know what I mean. So this quote, I'll tell you where the thought came from.
Yeah.
But I dug up the quote. Let me just say the quote.
Send it, bro.
Originality is the art of concealing your sources. Originality. And real quick, let me tell you like why it stood out to me. I was watching a documentary about this is old school Indian movies, like really really good storylines. And I'm sitting there watching the interview of the guys that wrote it, and there's two homies, like, and now they're old. They've made these brilliant movies, like amazing, like some of the concept. This is like the 80s, So there was this one movie where like there's one scene in there. There's two best friends, right? And they always get into trouble. And sometimes the way they solve their conflicts is they have this coin and they flip it. You know what I mean? And then be like, all right, now we're either gonna do this or like I get the dibs on this. But in the end of the movie, one of them has to die. So they're like, fuck it, let's flip a coin. Then you find out at the end the coin is the same on both sides. So one of the friends took a bullet for the other. So to me, that really stood out. I was like, what a fucking badass concept. Yeah. Throughout the whole movie, you don't know what this coin. You think it's just a regular coin. At the end, you find out, oh my God, this dude's been kind of like protecting his friend throughout.
Yeah.
Till the end. Yeah. Because he knew he would always pick the most shitty end of the stick for himself, just because he's like, hey, that's my homie type shit, right?
Right.
And then at the end, And the interview lady, she's like, "Yo, where did that concept came from?" And then he switched his quote. He's like, "Yo, this is." He's like, "That's not original concept." He's like, "It's been done about 50 times in different
Yeah.
novels
Right.
and movies." He's like, "I got it from so and so." And
Yeah.
then he says, originality is basically being able to hide your source. Like if the audience doesn't know where it came from, to them it's new and original.
Mm-hmm.
But the thought came from somewhere, and
Right.
nothing's new under the sun type of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
got
was
you.
like, it's pretty like, then I started Googling about the quote, like even Benjamin Franklin said. So I was like,
Yeah, he's a trip.
I'm gonna bring it up here and
Yeah, one of our founding fathers in America, but he was like a brilliant fucking like inventor as well, you know? I think what did you like he created the lightning rod and some other shit.
Right.
And, like all
Oh,
kinds
he
of
did a
stuff.
whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, man. So
But
like coming from him it makes a lot of sense.
he was brilliant. But I
Yeah.
think what he was trying to say is like, I would say originality is built on layers of inspiration.
Yeah, I got you.
So the only thing that's original about us is our fingerprints and
Yeah.
our DNA.
Yeah.
Everything else is influenced from other humans. Like we all have that connection.
Yep.
And that's actually one of the things that, as I've gotten older, that I've started to appreciate more.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
And
nature too, right? I think nature influences us a lot. I think human
absolutely.
human beings have like a very interesting relationship with nature.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if we are, but it seems as though we are the most conscious, aware beings in
Yeah,
at least on our known world. You know?
I think we are.
Yeah.
And I think that you know we're also, so I think there are different categories of humans.
Hmm.
You know, um, and like we could go into this whole like simulation thing, which I've spent a lot of time thinking about, and
Too much time.
I kind of subscribe to that idea. But I think there are different categories of humans. I think there are, and so just in a very general overview, I think there are connectors, like people
Hmm.
who just have a natural ability to connect humans together.
Yeah, yeah.
There are givers, people who are just naturally just want to give give what they have. They want to help others. They want to be hospitable to others. There are takers, people who want to who simply want to take from others and just use the system as much as they can
Yeah.
for their own benefit.
Consume.
And then there are creators, and I think we fall into that category. And I think like Dub C says gangsters make the world go round, but I say creators make the world go round.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think creators
The remix.
Provide those layers of inspiration, and those layers of inspiration end up being like original.
Right.
Yeah, because how many times you see the same idea resurface every about 5, 6, 10 years? It's like it'll be the same song, same concept, but now some new dude's talking about it slightly different from his perspective. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like pain is pain forever.
Right.
Whether it was my dad's generation or our generation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's certain and that's why that whole simulation thing, like I wonder who programmed us. Maybe it was God, maybe it was Jesus, maybe who knows who it was, right?
Right.
But I feel like we've been programmed, and we have certain hard coded like hard lines of code in all of us, like pain is pain, love is love, happiness, sadness, these hard coded things, and then just these other things that sort of like interchange and kind of upgrade and downgrade over time.
No, for sure.
And I mean, there's certain things that resonate with all of us, and those are those cool songs that you hear where for some reason it just everybody in the world loves it.
Yep.
You know, or that one movie that just becomes a hit that like everyone has to go see.
Yeah.
You know,
I always wonder, bro, like what's original, you know what I mean? Because like the closer you get to the source, the more you figure out like, oh, like, you know,
it just has those elements that resonate and that just like hit on those core elements that we all,
Yeah.
you know.
and speaking of concealing your sources, back in the days it was much easier. You couldn't get on Google and be like, hey, who really
That's
wrote
true.
this? You know? So
That's
I
true.
feel like back in the day people took shit all the time, translated it, or like I took an idea, added their 2 cents.
Yeah.
Or like took a line from a song and made a whole new song. Nobody knew. We just enjoyed it as a brand new original, and we give the like a lot of credit to the artist, but that's because they were concealing the sources. Like,
Yeah.
it's still beautiful art.
Makes
The
yeah.
idea is still, you know, great.
It definitely makes you wonder what was he thinking when he wrote that down, you know? Because he's clearly it was a profound thought, and he felt strongly enough about it. Say, you know, I'm gonna write this down, make sure this is part of my legacy. You know what I mean? Or somebody quoted him on it or whatever. But I just wonder, like in the back of his mind, like what was he really thinking about
Right.
when he said that? What was his purpose for making that statement? You know?
Yeah.
Because like you never know.
There had to be some influences there. So I think you know, creators who, in my opinion, make the world go round and make the world evolve. It's a collective effort. There's no one human that can take credit, like full credit, right? It's a collective effort, and it's passed on from generation to generation, these layers of influence, you know?
Yeah.
And we may not even know where we get it from. It might have been something that just triggered something in your head that you heard when you're 12 years old. And then, you know, 20 years later, you create something that was inspired by that event. You don't even know why. So you think you came up with something original.
Yeah, it's the subconscious is taking it in and kicking it out.
But most of the time,
the mind is a trip.
When I put some together, it always links to something I've heard, I went through, I could relate to it. You know what I mean? Like something is there that like everybody relates to.
Yeah.
Like that's where I pull from. I don't know. It's original because I put it together or whatever, but is it like, you know, shit exists.
This conversation's awesome. It reminded me of something. I have an unfinished song. Now I'm gonna probably go finish it, but no, I won't. The line that I remembered from it that is definitely not a throwaway. It's I'll probably just take it out and leave the rest, right? I think a lot of writers do that, but this definitely makes me think of something because it comes from something I believe. Anyways, I said just one line says, "I didn't create shit. I just discovered it." See what I mean? It already exists.
Yeah.
So it comes from a train of thought that I have is like every possible idea out there already exists. It's just who's fortunate enough to see the pieces click together, or with their mind, or with their eyes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or
for example,
or that kind of stuff.
Remember the song I did with the Vagabondies? Like the Steve's friend, like I rapped on it, but I didn't have that concept. I pulled it from what they were talking about.
Right.
Like, those are not even my original thoughts. But once I heard it and I translated it in my head, I could add to it.
Yep.
Talk about the same thing. But that's not my idea. They totally inspired something in me. Got my, like I heard it, I was like, bro, first of all, I fucking relate to it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I understand what they're talking about, and I totally got something to say about it.
Hell yeah.
And then it wasn't my original idea, but I was able to add to it and relate to it. You know what I mean?
I think that this kind of back to how we started on this whole chain of conversation is almost required for you to push yourself past a certain kind of limit to reach a discovery of any kind.
Yeah.
You know, not just like you could have 1,000 bad ideas until you get to the one that works,
Right.
or more. Einstein said, it's not that I'm smart, it's just that I stayed with the problems longer.
Right. Right.
And then what he was trying to say essentially is that, persistence over intellect often is what leads to a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So, you just stay on it. It's like, fuck, it's not working. Fuck, it's not working. You just keep trying different angles until oh, okay, this is what works. Because
Right.
the failed attempts make you recreate something new. But if you walk away, you can't even make that effort. So,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
like even guys like Einstein, right? They're leaving clues for us,
hmm
And if you sort of like go back to throughout our history, right? Ever since like we had throughout our at least our recorded history,
yeah,
what is the one common theme? We're always trying to discover who we are and why
yeah.
we are the way we are, right?
Big
What's our
time.
Who
origin
are we?
story? Yeah,
Like we're trying to figure it out. We're still are, right?
Bro, that's the
yeah.
question.
And all these
The
significant
ultimate question
figures
of
are
life.
leaving these little clues, and
Yeah, yeah.
maybe they didn't even know that's what they were doing, but that's what they're doing.
Right. Well,
And
some of them professed that they did. Right.
yeah, yeah, and like um it always comes down to like these simple fundamentals, like just keep chipping away at it, chipping
Yeah.
away at it, being persistent, and then you'll discover whatever it is that you're trying to discover.
Yeah.
And I think like companies like Google and Facebook, they have so many like brilliant people working for them, Tesla also,
hmm
that they know all of this.
Right.
They've figured out the like how humans operate
Yeah.
and what makes us feel good, what makes us feel bad, and what we desire and what we
It's
repulses
almost
us.
scary how much they know it.
And they're creating algorithms
Yep.
to fine tune to appeal to those different parts of us, right?
Yep.
And like, so that's part of this journey of our written society,
Yeah.
our modern society, is that we're trying to discover who we are. And I think those guys are propelling us pretty fast towards discovering
Right.
who it is that we truly are and why we're here. And I don't know if we're going to actually like the answer if we ever get to it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's weird. It to me, like, it, it comes, not to change the subject too much, but I see this correlation between AI
hmm
and, well, actually between computers and between humans.
Yes.
The way they function, the
Yeah.
way they've evolved, and the way they've now reached this point at which artificial intelligence in general, artificial intelligence is evolving.
Yep.
And it's like, I feel like we are the same thing. Like we are a super advanced version
We're
of,
like a organic version.
but what is organic,
Yeah.
right?
Biomatter.
What
You
is
know.
organic? Like just because we're soft and we have like
Yeah.
fluids flowing through us and organs and stuff,
Right.
like what's to say that we are not an advanced form of AI? And now we are, what is AI's job, right? AI's
Right.
job, well, part of it at least is to get to a point at which it can create and teach, like, right?
Learning
Like
models for
it can
sure. Yeah.
write code and then it can, and then yeah, through exactly, right? Through learning models, it can teach,
Yep.
right? It can teach right from wrong,
Could
up from
teach
down.
itself.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't that what we
creepy.
do? That's what we do, right?
Essentially, then you think about, okay, human beings created the computer system, right? A lot of it is it's taking shape to be modeled after us because we created it a lot in our own likeness.
Right.
You know what I mean? To operate, understand how we think. It has a random access memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like our short-term memory, or like when our in our conscious mind.
Right.
Like how much do you have? And then you have like your hard drive, the stuff that you got to go digging for.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that too. That's like our long-term memory, and how the deeper the brain actually writes code by putting those, it grows based off those synapses that we create, and they stay, and it stays in there as a memory. And so like even the names that we, even the names that we give programs and things, artificial intelligence. Well, we have just intelligence. So we're saying that the intelligence that we're giving the computer is artificial because we gave it to them. And it's not, it wasn't born. And like our intelligence, we're literally just become conscious all of a sudden.
Right.
It's a trip. But the computer, now the future computers all will, they're going towards a direction where maybe the AI can create that for itself. But at the same sense, at some point, it comes from a source program. That source programmer that created the program. And then boom, it all has that parentness to it. So it's just funny how it is like that. You know what I mean? So the computer in the cyber world is modeled after how we perceive this world.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, like
true.
Nothing AI does is original, right?
I think it's built on layers of inspiration.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Trial and error.
Right. It pulls from what's been done.
Well, kind of. That's what we were talking about. Those learning models are being designed to create things that are original, but it does it based off of rules. You know what I'm saying? So it has rules that it has to follow in order to do that. But it's evolving very fast, and I think that scares a lot of people. You know what I mean? And then the other piece is like how in our lifetimes, how small computers have gotten. Like they can write code onto like molecules or down to what do they call that, man? What do they call that? I'm trying to think of it.
Cell.
No, they call the processor something where they do it on a microscopic level.
Oh,
I can't think of it for whatever reason. But that's just trippy because it could essentially be, the original computer, but we got smartphones, right? Mm-hmm. This hasn't changed that much in the last 10 years, to be honest with you. But the things it can contain have, and the things it can network with and connect to have, and then how we position things to amplify its capabilities. You know what I'm saying?
You guys know about that site, the
crazy.
23andMe?
Oh yeah. What about
Apparently, everybody quit over there that was working there.
Really?
Yeah, there's something's going on with them.
They're cloning everybody.
They got everybody's DNA.
They do.
Yeah.
They got mine.
So does the AI. If you think about it.
You guys want to know a crazy story?
Yeah, of course.
This dude
love crazy stories.
This dude, I worked with him for a little bit. This dude, man, he was actually able to find his real dad using the like throughout his whole life. He grew up with a whole nother dad. Like,
yeah,
was he aware of that, or
he didn't know?
Oh, okay.
And then until he's like my age, and then he went and ran the DNA thing.
Yeah.
Sure enough, bro, they connected him to his real dad. He went and saw him.
Yeah.
And then his mom told him the whole story. I was like, what a trip.
That's
like, he would have never known.
Yeah.
I wonder how many couples have found out that they're related.
A lot. A lot. There's actually quite a bit of research on that. Yeah.
There's a documentary.
It's crazy.
Some fucking donor dude had like 1,000 kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That guy. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that documentary called? Not recently.
Yeah. Something about 1,000.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like giving them, inseminating them with sperm bank seeds, but he was doing his own.
Oh,
so he's just like out there, got the most baby. He's trying to outdo Genghis Khan, shape the whole world off his seed. It's a trip.
And then
that's what scares me the most about all that stuff, even the stuff we were talking about hijacking the human system, because it's a very people are so easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
when you know how to do it.
Yeah.
So like you already know the politics going on right now in an election year, right? Just sit back and watch it. Don't even listen to the stuff, the talking points. Just watch what are they doing today?
Yeah.
You know, where are they going? How are they trying to influence people? All this kind of stuff. And what's the purpose behind it and all that. It's a trip, man. Like how powerful entities can take advantage of um, hijacking the human system to get the outcomes that they want.
Oh, it's
People
easier
people
than
do
ever.
it. Yeah, people do it to people. So now they got the programs that can also do it to people.
Yeah.
It's
Takes you
crazy.
about 3 hours to brainwash a nation.
Yeah. A few
Or
posts,
one
a few
serious
social
event.
media posts.
Fucking wash and dry and fold you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
flip your
That's
ass real
always,
quick.
I always felt like if we were to be invaded by aliens, that's how they would take over. Just
Yeah, no doubt.
Just a couple of
it,
reels,
it
bro.
wouldn't be like physical. It would just
Nah.
be they just manipulate us.
Yeah,
Bro,
no doubt.
just a couple of slides in, and you're like,
Yeah, dude. This best
Oh my
PowerPoint
gosh.
ever, dude. They
Yeah.
already got you brainwashed, man. In any case, man, that stuff is you know, it's kind of a trip. You could go down that rabbit hole forever, man. But um, so I
that's
had
like
to,
the pros and cons, you know. Any
yeah,
fucking beautiful thing has a
Hmm.
yeah, for sure,
pretty dark side to it. I mean,
absolutely, absolutely.
it's a
So
great tool, but hella
I
dangerous.
I got a question for you guys. You ever heard of work-life balance?
No.
I've heard. I mean, people are using that expression a lot.
Balance. Never
When you
heard
hear
of
when
that.
you hear that expression, what do you think? Work-life balance.
Uh,
Leave work at work.
I think it's a way of. I think it's a way of trying to of telling yourself that your life's not so shitty, and like giving yourself sort of a like rationalizing your life choices and why you're here.
Yeah,
I don't think it makes much sense, to be honest.
yeah, I
Or
think it's
the
bullshit,
work-life balance thing.
no doubt.
It's like a catchy way of sort of like saying, oh yeah, I've made all the right choices in life, so I
Yeah,
have
that's
achieved
right.
work-life balance. You know.
Exactly. I think it's bullshit. I don't think it's possible. Um, I understand what people are trying to say when they say it. You know, I get it. But I call it the work-life imbalance. And, you know, it's like the thing about life is you got to take care of business. So in our world, you know, you got to have a job, you got to pay bills, you got to have a place to live, food, water, shelter, all the things, right?
Mhm.
But money makes the world go around, so you got to hustle and grind. But there's no way, there's no fucking possible way anybody out there has the scales just like this, evenly matched,
No.
right? Who the fuck is that? I
Maybe
work,
for a day or two.
I think
right?
also it depends on how you perceive work and how you perceive life. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like going back to that categories thing of human
Mm-hmm.
categories. I think, yeah, the majority of people sort of live trying to achieve a balance
Yeah.
between work and this, between their occupation and then the stuff that they actually enjoy doing, right?
Right.
And that's unfortunate, but we're just programmed like that.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
there are outliers who actually it's all one,
Right.
right? Like they don't really look at their work as work,
Yeah.
and they don't look at their life as something that they're trying to balance
Yeah.
with
Exactly.
their work. You know?
But I think the majority of people do not like their job.
Yeah.
They do it because it pays the bills, or
Right.
they got to get those essentials, right? The food, water, shelter stuff.
Yeah.
So like for the majority of people, I think they're constantly yo-yoing or tipping the scales back and forth.
Yeah.
And I think even the people that got it figured out, even the people that do enjoy what they do, love it and stuff, they still need to make sure their personal life is as good as their professional life.
Oh yeah.
That should be blowing people up, man. In my world, it's rough. The this this talk about work-life balance happens all the time, and I just get sick of listening to it, to be honest with you, because I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
But I do subscribe to the imbalance. So, you know, it's been on my mind a lot, and that's why I wanted to talk with you boys about it, see what your take on was it. But I just try to monitor it the best I can personally and say, hey, have I been has it been heavier work? And I'm giving all this time and effort and my emotions, because we give our emotions to our job a lot. And as a family person, um, I want to make sure that I have that capacity for my family when I get home. I
Right.
can't let my work possess all of my energy. You know what I mean? Everybody else's problems at work and all the tasks that need to get done and all this other stuff. When I get home, my wife, my kids they need that from me too.
Yeah.
And I'm a human being, so I don't have a fucking endless capacity to, deliver on that kind of matter. So, watching and monitoring where's that leaning one way or the other. So that way you can keep things healthy, and you're well rounded in your life. That's been on my mind a lot, man, because that takes effort.
Yeah.
It really takes effort. It's like, how they make prisoners move the fucking rocks across the yard to build the next pile? Sometimes it feels like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the weight of the emotions that come alongside with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some shit that's been on my mind. Do you guys have to
Yeah.
do any of that kind of stuff in your worlds?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you're right about the imbalance. That's a better way to explain it or to describe it. Um,
Yeah, that's how I do,
there's always
anyways.
there's always an imbalance. There's always like I sort of look at the experience of life as it's not like a straight line. I look at it as a circular experience that's pulsating.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's a weird way to see it, but it's like you have these moments of um, you have these moments of clarity where you totally understand what you need to be doing, and you totally understand what your family needs from you and what your
yeah,
work needs from you. And then all of a sudden you have these moments where you're like completely in the dark, you don't know what the hell's going on, and it's just this like pulsating um, roller coaster ride of like emotions and fears and joy and pain and all these like, you're confident one minute, you're unconfident the next. To me, it's just this thing that's completely off balance, but it's
yeah,
just this like roller coaster ride. And uh, yeah, I mean, I personally like I'm my situation is very off balance, you know.
yeah.
But I've kind of accepted that, and I take measures to try to create balance. But at the same time, I question myself: Am I doing enough? You
Right.
know, am I doing enough? And the problem is that it's like I'm racing against time.
Yep.
You know,
It
like
feels like that all the time. Like it's gonna
yeah,
come, like coming for you, some
you're
kind of way.
yeah, you're getting older. All of a sudden, you turn around. It's been another 5 years has passed, and that puts more pressure on you.
Yep,
You know,
for sure.
yeah.
About you, Shawn?
Um, yeah, I've never really had balance. Uh,
You're
it's
good.
just it's just whatever. I don't know. Every day is different. Sometimes work takes over, and sometimes I win. You know,
Sometimes you win.
yeah.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. Hell yeah, man. Well, the other thing that was on my mind a lot, and then I definitely I got a couple things we should definitely talk about, but it's just like we go through seasons in life, chapters, whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah.
like sometimes shit needs to be folded up and put on the shelf,
Mhm.
and then you got to get into the next thing, whatever it is. I'm like there for me personally. I'm there in a big way with my career in the Air Force. Um, and having to come back into civilian world full time, obviously it just is a big change because I've done it for 20 years, and
Yeah.
that's on my mind a lot. But in that 20 years, I certainly experienced a lot of times where you had to also make change and a certain type of thing that you're engaged with. But it's just like, how do you know? How do you come to these conclusions like when something's over and it's time to move on? You know, how do you guys deal with that? Because I don't even know what the fuck how to deal with it. I'm trying to figure it out. I need some secrets. Tell me some tricks.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Um, especially for something like that. Like, you know, you've been doing that for 20 years,
Yeah.
and and also, so it's sort of like it's part of your identity, you
Yeah, for sure.
know.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I've always been one that's it's difficult for me to like, I'm not the type that can just if there's something that's sort of ingrained in my identity, or something that's like I've been attached to for so long, I can't just cut it off, right?
Yeah.
It's easier for me to just segue into something a little bit
Yeah.
different, you know.
That
Um,
makes sense.
but I think if you're even questioning that, then obviously it's something you should be. Uh, it's obviously something
Yeah.
that you should be observing and considering, because you know, like, again, it's that race against time too. Like, the
Yeah, it
longer you're
is.
in this, you know, the harder it is to make a shift or a change, or to, you know, try something new.
True.
Um, but like, yeah, it's hard to know. I think if you really focus and listen to yourself, just like set aside all the bullshit, all the what ifs, and just like really listen to how you feel, you'll know the answer. Like,
Yeah.
you'll be like, it is really time for me to like change and do something new, or maybe it's not. But you know,
Yeah, for sure. I
I don't
mean,
know. What do you think?
When the student is ready, bro.
the
So
teacher will
The
appear
teacher will
yeah,
appear.
pull upon you. Like,
when the student is ready.
dude,
Shawn, Shawn, the fucking prophet over here, dude.
you feel me? No, I feel
Nah.
like some stuff, um, it just comes like it just like reveals itself to you
Right.
when the
Mhm.
moment, like a lot of things you can't plan. You, like no matter how much you think about it, how much experience you have, some shit you just won't be able to put together until that moment arrives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when that you're in that moment and it's there, a lot of shit will make so much more sense like then. But if you just kind of keep planning it, it's gonna make a big old cloud in your head, and it's not really gonna pan out that way.
Yeah.
And you know, you rather think about what's going on like in the moment,
Mhm.
and like you know what I mean. Just enjoy what's here. You know what I mean, and just kind of like you just rock out. You know what I mean, like the homie said, like live your life as a gift,
Yep.
and then you know let some time go by too. Like let you have to let time do its thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know,
If you put some dough in the fucking oven, you gotta give it 30, 40 minutes before it's really
that's
ready.
true. Otherwise, you get sick.
Yeah, and you know you gotta let shit take its time.
Yep.
And when almost always when that moment is upon you, bro, you'll make a decision that'll make sense.
Yeah. I think, the topic's on my mind because I'm going through it. You know what I mean? And recently, I've certainly felt like I know it. I know that it is time for me to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wasn't always feeling like that. For the majority of my time with this particular topic, I've felt like I'll just keep going until they tell me I can't anymore or whatever, because I've enjoyed it so much. But I the epiphany come when now I'm angry more than I'm not. I I'm at work and you know things are stupid more often than they're not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I'm surrounded by things that don't give me that sense of the joy that I had over the years. So sure, all right, for sure, this is how it is. All right, then it's about to be the end of this chapter. I'm gonna figure out what it is next. But I think we all go through this in different ways, right? It can be on a small scale to a big scale. It can be a
Oh yeah, all the
relation,
time.
right?
Hey,
Relationships. How do you know when a relationship's over?
Yeah.
We all had girlfriends and stuff back in the day. Something happened where you're like, yep, that's a wrap. You know what I mean?
all right.
But
Have you
just
have you recently? sometimes, okay, when I sometimes when I reach a certain point in something and I'm feeling like, okay, something's wrong. I don't like this.
Yeah.
I try to go back over and look at, like, really filter it down to what is the source of, what is the raw source that's causing this
Right.
discomfort. You
Yeah.
know? So, like, have you recently taken on a new position within
Yeah,
this?
but these are persistent feelings that I've had for probably I'd say around 7 years,
Okay.
7, 8 years, kind of yo-yoing back and forth. Well, I'll have
And
those moments. Sometimes it's the environment, sometimes it's not.
okay.
You know what I mean? Obviously,
Yeah.
the carrot at the end of the stick is you get to 20 years and you can retire with a pension, right?
Yeah.
Not a pension that you got to wait till you're 60 to earn. You get it right away. Um, and
And you're
so
close. You're close to the 20 years, though.
I'm there, yeah, this
Okay.
week. So, um, that's why I'm like, hey, what is what it
Good
is.
job, dude. 20 years to do something.
On the grind, but that's what's on my mind, and it's like, you know, I think that also is like, fuck it, I made it, so I can just be done if I want to be. Having
Yeah.
that, having that in my, having that in my playbook to be able to say, now I feel I've earned the right to say that,
Hmm.
it's because I did my time. But now it just got to focus on the other guys and making sure the people behind me can come up on my way out. But again, I got to watch that scale. So it's like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
bigger thing is, yeah, I got to leave that to them. But once I'm
You
out, I'm
know,
out. There's no coming back in.
But
There's no more
bro,
there. So I got to take
also,
the family with me.
my bad.
Yeah, go
no,
ahead.
One of the things you could do is, take the skill sets that you've acquired over the 20 years and figure out something else that you could apply them to, maybe something that
Yeah.
you have more control over, something that belongs to you.
Oh yeah.
Start some kind of business. It could even be this podcast here, but you start something that is solely yours and you have
Yep.
control over it. And it's based on the things that you're good at, that you've developed over all these, last 2 decades.
Oh yeah. That's definitely great advice, and I'm probably not doing it as much as I should. But these kind of things are certainly got little seeds planted, but of the you got to have enough time to cultivate those things, bring them to life.
Right.
And so, time being the enemy, this is the thoughts on my mind, always. But time and resources. But the other thing is too, like, it's just identifying, knowing when something's over. When is it over? Like, it's legitimately done. I feel that about this particular change, but like in general, I think you guys hit the nail on the head with like just sensing it and observing things and kind of playing it by the moment. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the, you know, it depends on what it is. But yeah, if
Yeah.
there's something that's consistently bothering you, I mean, your gut will tell you.
Yeah. Well, my gut is sick. It's
Yeah,
fucking
so you need a
really
change. You
rotten.
need a
Yeah.
change for
It's
sure.
time. It's no doubt time. And I know some of my colleagues listen to the show from time to time. And I don't have any ill will towards my time in service, but it's just no longer my time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so that's why I sense that it's time for me to move on to the next thing. And that just creates a cascade of change that
mhm.
there's the foreseeable and the unforeseeable. I know they're both coming, but it's just,
Find that edge, man. Push
it's
yourself
one of
beyond it.
those things
Yeah,
where you're on the line, bro. Living in the highway to the danger zone, dude.
throw
Fucking Kenny
yourself into
Loggins over
that
here.
uncomfortable situation, man, and
Yeah,
see
I've
what
been
happens.
there. Been that.
Yeah,
I heard
Super
this
uncomfortable.
one quote recently that I really like. Told me like, you could have 100 problems right now,
Yeah.
but then you have one health problem.
mhm,
All of a sudden, you just got one problem.
right.
Yep. That's a big fact.
Yeah, nothing else. So, like, as long as you have your health,
Yeah,
That's
that's really the biggest
that's a
problem.
great point, and that's what I've been doing. I don't know, maybe like 2 months ago, I started this little mantra for myself. I do these mantras for myself all the time. It's just a way that I get to get through shit. But kind of like what you said, Shawn, is I call this one health over everything.
Yeah.
because we all we got.
That's
If your
it.
body's falling apart, you're fucking miserable. Your mind's falling
Yeah,
apart, you're
shit.
fucking miserable. Well,
Bro.
then fuck the scales of the other shit. You need to fix that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
get that right. Tune that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
ice
as long as,
bath and the sauna are my lifesaver right now.
hell yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my routine.
Mhm.
Making me feel good. Hey, speaking of ice cubes, I heard you had a story about Ice Cube, Shawn.
Oh, right. Okay.
You got time to tell us this story?
Yeah, that's that. That was it. It was just a quick story. It was just
That's all right. It
um
was an exciting one to hear about. I want to hear about it.
yeah, because you had mentioned like Ice Cube was a big, you know,
Yeah, it's like my
definitely on
favorite.
your top five. And
Yeah, he's on my top five for sure.
yeah, and then we were talking about back in the days when I was doing, music production and
Yeah, for sure.
when we were first getting started with the outfit. Um, and this was like, uh we were recording, like this, Punjabi rap.
Yep.
Nobody really gave a shit. Like even especially actually a lot of like Indian or Punjabi people when we would play it for them, they'd be like, "What the hell is this? It's like get this shit out of here."
This isn't Punjabi.
And then they were like, we had found out that Ice Cube was going to be in town, so we're like, we got to meet this guy.
Was this in Oakland at the
It
time?
was in San Francisco.
Oh, it's San Francisco.
I was in Oakland, but we went
Yeah.
to San Francisco. We had this like cassette tape.
Hell
It
yeah.
wasn't even a CD. We had a cassette tape, and we wrote the names of the songs. There were actually songs that were on the first album, and we like I drew a picture, something that said Ice Cube, something like that. And we went, and we're waiting out there, and he's doing this interview, and then in the interview, like we were listening to it in the car.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he's like, I know I was born to do this. He's like, I was born to do this. He said, this is my calling. And then, we wait. Finally, he starts coming down the stairs. We see him coming out through the lobby, him and this other guy, right? And we wait for him, and he sees us, and he's like, oh shit. Like you can see, he's like, I don't want to have to deal with these fucking guys. And he comes out the door, and then I was with Roger at the time, and Roger's like, oh, what do we say? And I'm like, just say to him, I'm like, here, I'll hand him the tape, and then you just say, we were born to do this too. So we do that, right?
Hell yeah.
Give him the tape, and then he's like, this is what we were born to do. And Ice Cube looks at us like, he gives us that eyebrow, one eyebrow look where his eyebrow goes up. You know how he does that?
Yeah.
All about the
And then I see
look.
the dude behind him, and it's Mike Epps.
Oh yeah.
And this was before Mike Epps was like as known.
It's all about the Benjamin's crew.
I'm like, Mike Epps. And he's like, what's up? He's like hella happy that someone recognized him. And then Cube has our tape. Yeah. And then he goes and sits, the limo driver pulls up and then opens the door for him. And he sits down in the car, and we're thinking, because like when you're coming up and you're trying to like get people to recognize and you're recording music, you're spending a lot of time doing that. Yeah. And you're not going to do it if you feel like your music is trash, right? You think your music is like the hottest thing out there, right? Yeah. You think it is. So we think, okay, he's getting in his car, he's going to put it in and listen to it, obviously. And we think when he hears it, he's going to be like, oh shit, I need to get in contact with these guys.
Turn around, go pick those boys up.
He gets in the car, and then we're kind of looking, and he's like this, and then he goes and just throws it on the floor. And we're like, we couldn't believe it. We're like, what the fuck? And then he just skirts out.
Mike Epps probably has it, and he's looking for you guys.
I think so, yeah. But he's a little late, about 20 years too late. Yeah. But Yeah. I thought that was kind of a funny story.
No, that's awesome, bro. Yeah. It's gotta feel like shit though when you see that part. Like, damn it, we had our fucking shot. That was a slick move though.
It was, yeah. I don't know how I felt at that time. I don't remember because I think I was I admire and respect Ice Cube so much.
Right.
I was just like happy to just
Yeah.
say something to the guy and
Yeah.
have him give me the eyebrow thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know
Those
what's
moments are
crazy?
funny.
That's what happens to most like flyers or
Oh
mixtapes.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But just wait till I'm not looking.
Yeah.
That's too funny, man. I love that.
But
Hey,
yeah, you got to go through that, you know.
no, you for sure
But
gotta
that's
go
still
through that,
awesome,
man.
bro.
Yeah, you gotta be able
It's
to do
bro,
that.
it's the legwork, it's the effort, you know.
Right. And it's for the story, man. Like you
And
got
like
that story. How many people try to give their mixtape to Ice Cube? In the
back in the
grand
days,
scheme of things, of like all the people out there. You
back in
know?
the days, that was one of the legit methods
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
to find out where they at, pull up on them, wait for them outside,
Yeah, now everybody's got a channel,
or
bro.
get in the VIP, somehow get in touch with these people,
Right.
and then just be face to face with them.
Right.
Yeah, man. You had to go all the way across the fucking bridge and shit. Now you can just get added on something and then somebody discovers you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like totally
Mhm.
different vibes, different times, different methods and shit. So,
Those were the days.
yeah, those were good days.
Simple.
Pre the
Real
some-
quick,
yeah, what up, bro?
we didn't even talk about how Oakland's changed so much that there's no fucking sports team anymore.
No, that's what I was gonna say, man, because
I was just
the
looking at your hat. I was like, bro, nice hat. Where's your team at?
What team is that?
everything's
team is
changed,
that?
bro. 57 seasons. The Oakland A's played in Oakland at the Oakland Coliseum for 57 years. This sweater came from the 2018 season.
Mhm.
They had their 50th anniversary. It was like the anniversary night, so we went to the game. I got the sweater and the swag, and we had a good time. And they had a decent season that year. They went to the wild card and everything. They haven't been
Did I go to a couple of games with you?
that year. I think we went to a couple games.
A couple of games, yeah.
With the boys, couple games with you, me, Derek, and my Uncle Joe.
And your uncle, yeah.
There's a lot of family memories out there. We used to love
Your
when,
uncle is a fan, bro.
no, he's a big fan. But
He
he's
was the
like
one that was
he
watching
still
me.
has like a little cassette radio thing and some old ass headphones, and he would sit in the stands like we'd all be watching the game, but he'd be listening to the announcers.
Right. So have you asked him how he feels?
Yeah, I talked to him the other day about it, and he's like kind of the same way he felt when the Raiders left, is that it's kind of a lost cause. Essentially, it's sad to lose your team that you've been rocking with for a long time, but the city's they are not built for it, and the direction that they're headed, they'll never be built for it. I think that most people that see things from without, sometimes when you're in it, you don't see it that way.
Right.
The people
I
are
don't
gonna miss it though, going to the games. Just
Oh,
so
yeah.
convenient.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's the last professional sport in Oakland. It's the last
Yeah.
professional sport in the East Bay.
Mhm.
So what was it? What was I mean, why? Why is it the last sport?
I mean, there's no other professional sport, at least in the big three,
But I mean, why have we lost all of our teams?
I think a lot of it comes down to real estate and politics, right? Real estate and politics. There's a lot of environmental things in California that you have to follow. There's a lot of real estate that's already occupied. So a lot of the newer locations, they destroyed something to build something. Oakland wasn't doing that because it's not very big, and they had a Jack London Square plan to do one on the harbor,
Right.
and that got pretty far along, but the politics shut it down. It's where does the money come from? In the state of California, there's a lot of debts from things like this that have occurred, and then the taxpayers in the county and in the city end up footing way more of the bill than anything that they get in return. So, I think the Warriors skedaddled across the bridge. They were eyes on that for a long time. They went over to San Francisco. The Raiders had an opportunity to team up with the 49ers, I think in Santa Clara, and there was another other area. It's the same. It all comes down to the same thing, man. What's the best business move? I don't think that these guys are feeling like they're getting the best business move for their business, this in these professional sports, as they can get in other places like Las Vegas. So
You think they'll do well in Vegas?
if they actually pull it off and get there, so there's some controversy whether or not they'll make it there or not. I mean, it's slated, but the city still has to find a way, one, to build a stadium, and two, get the fans in there and all that other stuff and fit it in. Because Vegas ain't big either, but pro sports are new to Vegas, and they seem to be working well. The Las Vegas Aces, WNBA back-to-back champions, looking like they have a shot at a three-peat. The Raiders are out there. They're not necessarily doing well, but as a business, they're doing well. That's the most the most profitable that they've been. UNLV, the college, is benefiting from this impact as well, as they hosted the Super Bowl last year. Big deal. If a city wants to do something, they got to have world class event. You want to have the Super Bowl? Probably what's bigger than the Super Bowl? Fucking nothing other than what do they call the soccer? The World Cup.
World Cup.
All right, the World Cup's probably bigger than the Super Bowl on an international level, but in America, the biggest show in town is the Super Bowl of any event, right?
What do you think they're gonna do with the property now?
The stadium property, that's a pretty interesting question. I did read about it a little bit. They have a couple plans to turn it into like low income housing and a park, like a public park. Yeah. So
Oakland never has they never have a plan, man.
Yeah, they never have a plan, dude. They'll just move. They should just leave it and then take all the homeless from the streets and just put them in the stadium.
No work-life balance.
Yeah, see, it doesn't matter if they shit on the street because the sewage leaks in the Coliseum anyways. Yeah, and there's plenty of seats.
Though? It made me sad to see that In-N-Out go from that same intersection. Remember that?
Is that the one that shut down by the airport?
Yeah. It's right across the stadium.
I think, wasn't it the first one to ever shut down?
Yeah, that's the first one. But that's not the first one. That's not the first company that's doing that there. Target left too. Target shut down.
Walmart.
Target, Walmart. A lot of companies are shutting down. They're leaving. Yeah, it's because crime is out of control. It's sad. But why is that? I don't know. It wasn't always quite like that.
It's because they put a limit. It's like, hey, crime is all right as long as it's under 1,000.
Yeah. Hell, that's what happens. I mean, look at it. It happens to cities that experiment with these kind of things. Is what it is.
I have to call Biden tomorrow,
though. Good luck. He'd probably be asleep. Yeah, it's interesting, man. They won quite a few championships. The A's particularly. We're never gonna have another Battle of the Bay.
It's changed a lot, bro. Like the East Bay is changing so much.
Yeah.
Like real estate wise, the shit is just not the same. When you drive, you leave the city for a year, come back, shit is just fucking rearranged.
Yeah, I left. I had to leave to realize that.
Yeah.
I had to leave to realize that.
Yeah, when you're in it, it looks one way, but when you leave and you look from the outside, it's totally different.
Yeah.
I didn't go back to the city after COVID. I don't think I went to a single game, or I didn't even drive into the city at all once after COVID.
You know what I noticed about the city lately? Hella bikes.
Yeah.
E-bikes, like bro, that was a thing. Like in other countries, like people don't have that many cars, but everybody got a little fucking scooter.
Yeah.
Now you go to the city, bro. There's like hundreds of people on scooters just waiting for like deliveries, like around lunchtime. They're on a scooter, just dropping off like fucking little lunch packages everywhere.
Yeah,
yep.
Like the Uber Eats and all that stuff.
By the hundreds, it's really becoming a bike city. Like,
I think they're trying to do that. They're trying to keep as many cars out of the center of the city as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They're doing that in a lot of the big cities nowadays. They got that. What is that brand called? Where they have them geo-locked. Geo-locking.
Waymo.
Yeah, that's one of them. There's another one that have like the white and green scooters and shit.
Yeah,
the
Lime, yeah, Lime. And they geo-lock shit, so you rent one, it can only go so far before it shuts
Right,
down and
right.
everything. And then they just leave them wherever the fuck, and then some
That's
driver
like
goes and picks them up.
the Google campus. Over here,
Yeah.
uh, at the Google campus, they got fucking Google bikes. They
Yep.
have the same color, red, blue, yellow, and green
Yeah.
and shit. And basically, yeah, you just pick it up and then you go to your little whatever you gotta go.
Yeah.
Just leave the bike anywhere.
Yeah. It's
I'm
a
gonna go
trip,
steal
man.
one.
And in our lifetime, the Bay Area has changed a lot, for sure. And I think that's like one thing. Like the A's won 4 World Series in that 57-year period. That's not a whole lot, but that's more than some other teams ever have won. And that brings a lot into the community. You know what I mean? The Warriors had their run in Oracle. They won 3 out of their 4 championship series there. It brought a
So,
lot
bro,
in. You know?
the A's fans, like now, if they want to catch an A's game, they gotta go to Vegas.
Well, they can go to Sacramento, I think, for the next 2 seasons.
Well,
That's where they're
they're
going to
not
play
going to
in.
sack. I don't think
They
nobody
some
will.
of them probably will, bro.
Yeah.
There's a few that are out there that are loyal like that, but they were pretty upset, man. At this part of the podcast, I'll share some memes and stuff. But I think generally most people are pretty sad about them leaving, and
See
it's
one
just like
picture with
the
with
last
his
time.
grandpa.
Yeah,
He, he is holding a little thing that said, "I
yeah.
was here for the first game."
I had that picture, bro.
Last game.
I'm definitely gonna share that, man.
That's a
I had
fan.
that. I had some good memories out there, man. Like one of my favorite at the Coliseum in particular wasn't one of the major sports teams. I went to see WCW wrestling. I saw
Who's there?
a pay per
Oh,
view, bro. Top match was Hollywood Hogan
Oh,
versus Ric Flair, and
okay.
it was NWO era, right? So Hogan like smashed him. He flies off the over the ring, and then he like gets up and he's bleeding all over his head and shit. It was like the best match. The only thing that I was hoping to see during the match was I got to see Booker T there, and I met Booker T earlier this year at the airport in Houston. Cool ass dude. And
damn.
the only thing I was hoping to see was Sting because he was my favorite wrestler back then. It was like 8th grade. So we go to the match. Me and my friends from the apartments I grew up in. Uh, we just they got us a ride there and back from like some family member. I don't remember who. So we're waiting for them by like the north exit of the parking lot. It has like a little bridge where you go over the creek, the runoff canal, and we hear this fucking peeling out, everybody screaming, oh, like this, and they're like, oh shit, what's happening? And this little fucking rental Geo Metro's like flying 100 miles an hour through the Oakland Coliseum parking lot, and we're like, oh shit. We look inside, and it's this wrestler dude named Scott Steiner, big Papa Pump, and he's like all roided out, and we're like, yeah, and he's like, fuck you, out his Geo Metro. He's like bigger than this thing. And that was like one of my favorite memories from being over there. It was so funny, bro.
Damn.
Cracked me up. But I never did get to see the Warriors game in Oracle. It was just outside of my reach, man. It was like 800 for standing room only. I ain't doing that. I don't care how
saw
much I
one.
love them. But yeah, man. Sports have left the Bay Area, so it's big news.
The East Bay for sure. I mean, I guess they still got their Giants and the
I don't care.
Champions.
Yeah, those people make me sick.
Yeah, that's the other side of the bay.
Yeah, the Warriors are still out there. Yeah, it's definitely the East Bay. I misspoke.
And
Um,
you
I
think
hate.
Warriors gonna be the same? Like, I don't know if they're gonna have the same type of impact they had. Like, they've done their
Yes.
thing, and Curry's not.
Yeah, they're gonna be the same. They're gonna be great, dude. They're gonna
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
No, they're not, bro. It's gonna be rough. I mean, could they put a team together and make another run in his old age at the end of his career? Maybe. We'll see, and hopefully that would be kind of fun. But no, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Unlikely.
But other news, right? You know, since the A's are sliding out of town, and Diddy seems to be sliding on this fucking baby oil shenanigans he's got going on, we got to talk about the Diddy shit a little bit, you know. And then yeah, it's must. You know what I
No,
mean? You like
dude.
that segue, bro? How I slid that in there, dude?
Smooth.
That was very smooth.
That's what Diddy said. So I was laughing my ass off because not even the charges and stuff, but like the the thing that cracks me up about it is just like the meme ability of it. What
Mm.
were you guys talking about earlier? I think it was before we started the show when we were chatting. Who was it talking shit in the public about Diddy that made this
Probably 50 Cent.
like this no Diddy thing?
Had to be 50.
Oh,
Oh,
Mace.
oh, was it? Oh, right.
Mace. But
How, how'd that go down? He's got a lot going on, but like I was laughing because there's a meme going around. It's got this kid sitting in his class, and the teacher wrote up on the board banned words, and he popped up on there twice. But the other words are pretty funny. Like Diddy party is a banned word in this kid's class,
Really?
and yeah, and then so is Diddy. So this shit's hella funny. But just to put it into perspective of other words that are banned in this era, skibidi. You guys heard that word?
I hear that word all the time.
You do?
Yeah.
What does it
I
mean?
got a 10-year-old son.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he says skibidi.
He doesn't, but his friends do. So when he's on the phone,
Oh yeah.
speakerphone, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to do my skibbity real quick."
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What does it even mean? I don't even know.
I don't know. It's from a meme like this dude popping out of a toilet.
Oh
And he
God.
says it.
So he's gonna do my shit, I guess. That's too funny. Ohio, for some reason, is banned, probably because they're eating pets out there. I would say. Beta, Omega, Goonin.
Beta
Yeah.
is banned.
Yeah, Goonin. Apparently, Have you guys heard of GYAT? Like GYATT?
Yeah. You know these are all from the alpha generation.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That's what they're called, right?
Yeah,
The
they're
alphas.
yeah, because they're Gen Z is like everybody's over Gen Z,
Right.
dude. But I kind of like Gen Alpha,
Gen
dude.
Z.
Gen Alpha doesn't give a fuck, bro. These kids are
Yo,
awesome.
Real quick.
They're on some
I have a funny.
some other shit.
They're
Gen
like
Z
us,
ain't
bro.
going.
They're
Somebody was like, some little chick. She's asking her dad. She's like, "Yo, you know what Gen Z is?" He's like, "What, Jay Z's sister?"
That's hella funny, bro. The that shit cracks me up, man. These kids remind me of our generation growing up. We had South Park and Beavis and
Yeah.
Butthead and all this raunchy shit.
Yeah.
These guys don't give a fuck. Gen Z was all about like, oh, stop it, my soy latte is spoiling. Don't mess up my man bun. Anyways, when I introduced myself to Gen Z, I said, "Hello, my name is Joshua Wells. I'm a white cisgender male. How can I not offend you today?" I'm still working on my pronouns right now. I'm feeling like fuck and you are working, but I need to work on that. So these guys crack me up. One of my favorite words before I move off this subject and we talk a little bit more about Diddy is, dude, the rizz.
The Rizz.
The rizz. These guys came up with the rizz, and I appreciate it so much. It's fucking hilarious. You know what the rizz is, Shawn?
Slightly.
Game, bro.
Yeah, like when you
It's
rizzing
game, dog.
somebody up.
Yeah, so we had game back in the day.
Like,
These guys got the
even
rizz.
like, oh, he's a highly gamed up individual.
Hey, you
Nah,
know what I don't like?
He's a
though?
rizzler.
I think it's kind of funny when you see a lot of celebrities do this, like people who are like, in their 30s and 40s,
Yeah.
but they're using all the new slang.
Oh, shit's hilarious.
It just doesn't match. It just doesn't.
It's
mesh,
so
dude.
funny. They're not cool anymore. They've outgrown
Yeah,
it.
it's like
It's
it's
just
like you got to accept that you're like, you're of
Yeah.
a certain age.
that shit cracks me up. But I think like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, people started, I don't know, maybe longer, started reusing the word bet like it was brand new.
Yeah.
They started using it like it was brand new, but that was
Yeah.
like when we were
Well,
kids.
they don't even know where it comes from.
Yeah, that's
That
what I'm
was
saying.
our word.
That's what I'm saying,
was
bro.
our
I'm
word.
like, why the fuck are you guys using bet like you knew that shit? They don't. They never start using tight again. Remember that? Bro, that's tight, bro. Nah, nobody's gonna
Diddy.
reuse that. That was one of the worst slang words ever made. But yeah, so Diddy, bro, this dude's like literally. Some of the major charges include racketeering, right? Apparently, this is where the max sentence is life in prison. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, that's up to 15. Mandatory sentence, 15 years in prison, bro. But like then transportation for the purpose of prostitution. These are three of the major shits he's getting hit with, bro.
Yo,
And then, yeah, it's
you know
crazy,
how-
man.
They put him on suicide watch, right?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah. So there's a picture of Diddy from back in the day where he was, I think, sporting like Barack Obama.
Oh yeah.
wearing a shirt called "Vote or Die."
Mm.
And one of the comedians, he was like, "Hey, looks like you can't do either right now."
Shit, that's dark.
Wow.
Yeah, man. But it was just crazy how all this shit popped off. It's not like nobody knew about this stuff for years.
Right. Right.
It feels like it is taking up some major headlines, which is weird. But I just feel like the timing of having the Diddy shenanigans go down the same year as an election year
Mm.
seems
Yeah.
kind of odd if you ask me.
Well, I think it all popped off when Cassie came out with her, you
Yeah.
Right.
know, her story, right?
Yeah, I mean the
And
videos
then it
being
just
really
created this
got leaked,
avalanche.
but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, dude. This underneath this A's hat is some tin foil. So I'm just saying that they probably had this in 20 whenever, and they just decided to wait till 2024 to get it rocking.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You're talking about the feds?
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Conveniently, you know what I'm saying? Let's just
Yeah.
distract everybody real quick with these headlines when there's other kinds of real important things happening in the world.
Cat Williams kind of gave us a preview.
Oh yeah, Cat Williams was.
Yeah,
I think everyone was kind of scared to say something about him because they knew he had power. He could like end their careers. You know.
dude, how does he have so much? Because he doesn't give a fuck. He does not give a fuck, dude.
He
That
probably got away with so much shit that like whatever they could prove is what he's being charged with. But the shit
yeah,
that people don't know about,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that this fool's,
done all kinds of shit.
he's probably
yeah.
done some crazy shit, bro. Like, I think he was trying to throw away Kid Cudi off the balcony or some shit, like, or like put a bomb in his car,
Yeah.
like some wild ass shit. Like, what the fuck?
So I love all the other conspiracies that are circling the drain around the Diddy thing, though. So,
Mm.
like, they talking about how now we'll probably find out who really killed Tupac
Mm-hmm.
and shit.
And
Yeah.
Diddy got something to do with it, man.
I mean, a lot of people believe that.
Eminem said,
Yeah, he put it in his new album too, a couple times.
that was brilliant the way Eminem did it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
he's like he didn't just leave out the letter P, did he?
Yep.
Spelling
Exactly.
rapper.
Even if he's found innocent or whatever, he's exonerated from a lot of these charges.
No, he's not innocent. There's a video.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these charges, though, is what I'm saying. He wouldn't go to life for prison for smacking that girl. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's videos of everything. These freak
That
offs.
was baby oil. Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This freak off shit is gonna bring a lot of people down. It's crazy, bro. Just to see that happen on that scale, I feel like
Yeah.
it's just wild as hell.
The Kardashian lady
Yep.
looking like she part of it.
I mean, that's just the expose of Hollywood. Hollywood's getting flipped upside down all kinds of ways, man. They got the Epstein list still hasn't leaked, right? You think they're gonna leak?
To party and you gotta tell him no.
That's true. That's what he said. That's what Cat Williams said. Kevin Hart didn't say that. He hosted those. He hosted one of them freak off parties.
Bro, this fool was about to put up $50 million just to like for his bail, just to be
50 million, for his bond.
yeah, just to be out for like a month. He was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, not yet. Here's a $50 million."
Yeah, man. So he could get smuggled out of the country. I don't know. I think what's the over under Jay-Z gets wrapped up into something like this.
I can see it happening.
I mean,
I'm banking on it. I think it'll happen.
Yeah, because
I think a lot of people are going to be exposed.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's whole brand is like, look at what I got away with.
Yeah.
Pretty
The
much.
thing is like,
yeah.
I sold drugs, but like I didn't get caught.
Right.
His whole
Yeah.
thing is that, like, I'm here. Like somebody took the charge
Exactly.
for me. Like he's basically saying, "Hey, I did fucked up shit, but like smartly.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna fucking."
He's always got an alibi. No doubt.
And like the whole Beyonce thing.
I was thinking, yeah, I don't know. You know, they were both obsessed with Aaliyah, both of them, and it's just think about like who's in jail that right now, R. Kelly, right? And I always felt like that was kind of creepy that R. Kelly kind of essentially,
He married.
yeah, before she was 18.
She was like 14, right?
I think she was like 16 or 17.
But how could that
Then he
be
produced her
allowed
album, and like on her
legally?
album, it's like age ain't nothing but a number.
Right, right,
Yeah, but you're a kid, so how the fuck do you know what the fuck you're talking about?
right.
You know, a talented artist. I loved Aaliyah's music, but that always was a kind of a creepy vibe that I got
Yeah,
about
no, yeah.
the Hollywood stuff. And I was like, wait a second, because R. Kelly's out here talking about fucking bump and grind and shit. That's the only thing he's known for is being a freak.
Did R. Kelly ever said, "Hey, that's my wife"?
No, yeah, they were publicly married, bro.
Jesus.
But then you know
But
they
legally, that was okay. You could do that. I don't.
the parents
Who let-
allowed it. The parents
Oh,
signed her off pretty much, and that's kind of like the thing, because you know Usher was a minor, and he was sent to Diddy camp.
oh hell's no.
Oh, Justin Bieber was a minor. He was sent to Diddy camp.
Diddy camp.
No, that's literally what it was called, bro. That was the before the freak offs. Anyways,
Yeah,
I think
and like you don't see no other person making a boy band. Like Diddy was all into it. Like, boy
before there was Cat Williams saying all this,
band.
there was Dave Chappelle doing a skit about it. I'm just saying.
I remember that.
Yeah, that shit. He's like, you go get me some Cambodian breast milk. They're like fucking carrying him off. Shit, like he's never touching the ground. That shit was wild, bro. That
50
skit
Cent,
ruined
he's always-
that skit ruined that dude's life. That dude Dylon. He
Yeah.
said the 5 greatest rappers of all time.
I'm
Dylon, 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 and Dylon. I spit hot fire. He had an interview. He said that I've never been able to be seen in public again. Like, damn, bro. That's what happens when you associate with Diddy. Get wrapped up in some shit.
Yeah, you know, I'm just sitting back. I'm just a spectator, just sitting
Yeah.
back, you know, with popcorn, just watching it play out.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Anyways, you still got some time, bro? You still good to
Bro.
talk about some stuff? It's already 12:15. It's getting late, but
Bro, ever since we've been hearing about Diddy, somebody's always said some shit about it. From Tupac
Mm-hmm.
to 50 Cent. Somebody's always
Yeah.
like, man, Diddy's on some. Or like nobody could have said shit. You could just see him doing the Harlem shit. You're like, hey man, this dude's up to no good. Like,
Yeah.
what you doing all like all in the video? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
he did
Yeah.
it. He
Yeah.
fucking spin around. Spin
I
around.
told you that, like, bro, I don't give a fuck what you told me. Get the fuck up.
Yep, exactly, bro. Yeah, man. But yeah, you guys good? You need a break, or how are you guys feeling about time? It's getting a little late, but you
Go
good
a
for
little bit longer.
good for another topic or two? You know, I had two on
I'm
the
good as long as Shaw's good. We here.
Shaw.
You need some water or something? I'm good.
No, we good.
Shaw, you're really into Tesla. The last couple of times we talked.
He's really in the Tesla.
Oh, you're really in a Tesla.
He pulled up in the Tesla.
Is it true that you can make beats on the interface inside the Tesla? I seen it on the Cybertruck.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you can make beats.
Hell yeah, that's
I have
fucking
a-
legit, dude. Sold. I'm
I
gonna
have
go
a
get
big
one right
question that I was gonna ask you last time.
now. Okay.
I totally forgot and I just remembered now.
Well, ask it because then we'll segue into the Tesla.
Yeah, my bad though. What is your favorite BPM?
Depends on the MPH.
There's 3 of them. It's 87,
Nice one.
99,
Almost
depending on the drum pad,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably around like high 130s, like 135 to 138, somewhere around
That's crazy. You didn't pick 100, but 99.
99.
Got a
That's
99
how
problems.
And 87, 99, and like 135 to 138, somewhere around there.
That's
Nine-
awesome that you know that though. How come 99? Because one of my favorite BPM is 100.
Yeah,
Which
100
is
works
nice.
too.
Yeah.
But it's just certain drum patterns work really well at that BPM. You know.
Yeah,
Certain
hip hop
drum
and
patterns
100
that, like,
BPM.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
87 works really well too because you can also double it up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like it's just it depends because sometimes I make beats just for me.
Yeah.
I just like them and
Yeah.
I'll just play them over and over. And then sometimes I'll make a beat for that somebody can rap over, and that's different because you're not making it just for yourself. So you're conscious of like, okay, it has to be a certain beat count for them to be able to flow.
Hell yeah.
If they have this type of style or that type of style, you know.
Hell yeah.
So those are sort of like the three that I tend to.
I like 85.
Yeah.
I always round it up. I stay with it. I do 5 jumps, you know, 85. 85 and 100.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Pretty close to what you was asking. Do you have a favorite chord?
Not really. I've been listening to a lot of jazz lately.
Or a favorite scale?
It depends on my mood. Like if I feel like something, if I'm in a dark mood, I'll mess with the minors.
Mm-hmm.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Skibidi.
You heard that skibidi, right? So I'll get into the minors, right? If I'm, you know, if I'm feeling, if I want something that's like a little bit more, you know, feeling good, kind of like, you know, positive type of thing, then I have certain chords that I like.
If you see a real smart kid in a class, C sharp minor.
Hell yeah, bro. That reminds me of this bad dad joke that I had. It was like back in my day. Back in my day, I was so emo my hair could cut itself.
Yeah, we invented emo too, man. Like
I know, bro. Listen, our generation, these motherfuckers they always talk shit about millennials, but they get it twisted. Like Gen X, you know why they're X? Because they all broke up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Millennials, that's why we didn't get a letter.
Yeah.
Because we're better than that. We transcend.
Well, you guys are millennials. I'm Gen X.
Yeah, sure you are. That's the thing, is it's like a muddy system.
Yeah.
You know, what do they truly define it as? Is there really a timeline? There's
it seems to be based on technology.
They call it exennials, right? That's somebody that's kind of on the cusp of Gen X and the millennial timeline. So there's like another little small category in there.
Yeah.
But anyways, that shit cracks me up.
Back to Tesla. I'm sorry.
No, but hey,
can you beats in a Tesla?
Yeah, on the beats in a Tesla, how advanced is the DAW?
It's pretty cool. I mean, you can. It's a good way to kill time. Like if you're waiting for somebody,
you're charging your car.
You're charging, or I mean, it's like my Tesla is like my second office. Like I bring my laptop in there. I get work done.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But you got this whole interface with like all kinds of stuff. You know, you can make beats, you can play video games, you can watch movies, you can go on Netflix. You know, it's like a whole entertainment system.
That's legit.
So I used to make beats in my minivan.
No doubt, dude.
Yeah, the car is a good place to be creative.
For sure.
Know?
Hell yeah.
Especially if you're on the road for long periods of time.
Great for writing.
Some of actually a lot of songs I've written have been in the car.
Hell yeah.
You know, I mean, I've almost like caused accidents, you know, just like, because I'll come up with a song idea as I'm driving, and I'll be like, I'll pull out my phone, either record it or like type an email, send an email to myself, you know, and I'm like trying to drive at the same time. You know,
voice recorder is the best.
One song that I know for sure was written in a car is Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. Chris Cornell said he had the melody in his head and he was practicing it in the car.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the lyrics, and I think he recorded it or wrote it down, and then he like went straight to the studio because he just had to get it out.
Yeah.
Shit. And that was huge fucking song.
The car is, I bet you that's a common theme though too. Like
I bet, you know,
people might not say it, but I'm sure a lot of big songs were written while in a car.
Yeah,
for some reason the car is like a really inspirational place, you know.
Me and Shawn would make our all of our shit we would make from the apartment, and then we go, bro, let's go play this and drive around town, and we just listen to our own shit.
Yep. That's one of the best parts. That's part of the production process. That's one of the best parts, you know.
Can you drive to this?
I remember Too Short saying that like one of his tests for his songs was he would listen to it in several different like places. Like one of them was a car, but he would
Yeah.
also put his music on like a shitty speaker.
Oh
And if
yeah.
it still sounded good, like some little like iPhone speaker or something, if it
Yeah.
still sounds good, then you know it would get a check mark.
Yeah. It made it.
You know, because anything sounds good if you got like some big 12-inch subs in your,
True
you know,
that.
in your trunk, right?
Yeah.
But then you put the same song on
On
some
a
little
low
old
volume.
school, like,
Yeah.
you know, lo-fi sounding thing, and it sounds good, then
Modern cars have great sound systems just stock built into them. Like my Dodge has fucking Beats as the sound system, and it's just freaking awesome. I'm not even gonna spend a dime to go upgrade it because it sounds great. You know what I
no,
mean?
you don't need to.
Nah, not anymore. But you said they put in work to make it sound good in them
Oh yeah,
cars. But I feel like all the modern cars have technology, but it seems like Tesla is like leading edge, right? They're like leading the way on like pushing like we talked about pushing personal growth as a person. I
yeah,
feel like as a business, Tesla is one of those businesses that likes to push the limits of what is a car and
right,
what can it do? Can we
right.
create something more than a car? Seems like it's going that way. One thing that always trips me out about Tesla too, that and then I definitely want to hear why you're so into it, is that I think a lot of people think that Elon Musk just created Tesla.
Right.
Because he's such a big figure. I know he joined pretty early on, but he didn't even create it. He just
Yeah,
joined the team after. There's these other two dudes. What are their names? Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpening are the actual um, engineers and investors that got Tesla going off the beginning, and then he joined a little bit afterwards.
He does
Pretty
that a
neat.
right.
lot, right? He gets behind like good ideas.
Yep.
Well, I think from what I know, you know, I could be wrong, but I believe that um he became interested when he met them and they started talking about what they were
Yeah.
doing. And then, you know, he had made some money at that point. He had a reputation already.
Yep.
So he joined, I don't know, maybe he joined their board of directors, or but he became like a partial, like an investor, a partial owner.
Yep.
And they had reached a point, and this happens a lot in startups, right? Where the idea men, like
Mm-hmm.
the creative guys, they have an idea, and you know maybe they're engineer minded, they come up with a cool, you know, with a maybe, you know, a limited run of like production
Yeah.
vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Battery powered vehicles, like I think they're based on the Lotus chassis or something.
Right.
I think they're using Lotus chassis. And Elon Musk had sort of these qualities in terms of like growing a business that they didn't possess. Like they
Right.
were not able to scale the business. They were just
Yep.
able to
It outgrew
conceptualize
them.
this cool looking car, and he was able to take it and scale it and
Yeah.
bring it, you know, into like the realm of like mass production,
Yeah.
you know, which is extremely difficult.
Yeah. It
Like
is.
it like building a few prototypes, that's hard, but it what it really requires is just putting some money and time into it and some
Yeah.
good engineering. But going to a scale of mass production where you actually have, you know, 1,000 parts on a belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be off. Even one single part is off. You got to start the whole thing over,
Yep.
you know. And then you have this like, you know, uh, anyways. So I think he provided that, and then it got to a point where those dudes kind of were like they couldn't really add value
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong about this, but I'm
No, I
pretty
think
sure
you're
that's
right.
what happened.
I think you're right. And then you made a good point that it's not just Tesla that's like that. Because I would even argue that Starbucks was like that with Howard Schultz,
Mm-hmm.
because he was an employee with them and he was in a significant leadership role. He left, goes out to Italy or wherever, sees how they do, you know, coffee bars,
Right.
comes back, starts his own coffee company, but then starts bidding to buy Starbucks and then takes over and boom, look at it now. It's just
Mm-hmm.
people like that with the vision and creativity then and know how to take this, like you said, the scale of what it becomes, you know. But what got you into Tesla, man?
I mean, I always kind of the first time I read this book by Ashley Vance. It was called
Hmm.
Elon Musk,
Oh yeah.
and it was like it was basically it just he kind of just goes over sort of like the way this guy thinks and the way this guy operates and like this guy's accomplishments and the way he
Yeah.
runs his businesses. And um, I'm like, this is a very interesting person. Like, I don't think people realize how influential this guy is, and like 100 years from now, he's going to be talked about the way
Yeah.
like Thomas Edison is talked about.
Yeah. Henry
And
Ford.
so I just started learning
And
more and more.
Tesla. Isn't so Edison and Tesla they go?
I think they're similar. And the crazy thing is that Edison had a rivalry with Nikola Tesla.
Yep.
Right. But and I had already like I remember when Tesla went public, because I've always been somebody who's like into investing,
Right.
because I always figured if all my other shit fails, at least I'm investing. I'm like in a very small way, I'm a partner in these successful businesses.
Right. Yeah.
Like if I own 10 Apple shares, I'm actually a partner in Apple.
Yeah.
Like a very insignificant amount, but I'm still a partner.
Right.
And they're doing all the legwork. All I'm doing is investing.
Yeah.
So when Tesla went public, I started buying them at around like $40 a share.
Hmm.
Right. Like, so, but I didn't know anything about them except that I had seen a few of their cars and they looked cool.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, and then when I read that book, I'm like, I really decided that I made this decision that like this was somebody I'm going to put my trust into,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I was like buying a lot of Tesla stock.
Gave you more confidence to invest more because you were like, oh shit, this dude's legit.
Yeah. And then the more and more like I heard him speak and I heard him, and I saw their products and like I just heard his vision for the company.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this dude, like he's very unique. You know, like
Yeah.
put aside all the politics, put aside all the weird controversial stuff that he puts
Right.
out there. I don't particularly like some of the tweets he puts out there,
Mm-hmm.
but all that stuff is just noise. It doesn't matter to me.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite follow on X.
Yeah, and he owns this, and he owns X, right?
Yeah,
he
shit's
spent 40
hilarious.
billion on it. But this guy is like the ultimate risk taker, but he's also the ultimate strategist. So he's
Yeah.
not just doing wild stuff without thinking about what the consequences
Yeah.
are going to be. Like he's got these like plans put in motion, and he's so like meticulous about like
Yeah.
executing them at the highest level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
So
cool.
it's just you don't see a leader like that very often. You
True.
know? So recently he was, you know, his job was in jeopardy, you know, with that judge that ruled against his pay
Right.
package and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking like, okay, if he's not the guy running Tesla anymore, like I'll probably just sell all my stock because
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody like him that
Yeah.
can do.
You wouldn't have the confidence in another person steering the ship.
I don't think there's anybody like him.
Right. Yeah.
I
I
don't
got you.
think so.
What about Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, but Jeff Bezos he's similar, but he enjoys. And I'm not saying what Elon does is something I would do personally. I actually feel like if I met him, he would not like me because I enjoy hanging out with my family. I enjoy going on
Right.
vacations.
Yeah.
I enjoy like buying dumb stuff when I have
Yeah.
extra money. He's not like that at all.
Yeah.
He hates going on vacation, and that
Right.
dude just like he's all about like accomplishing these missions
Yeah.
that he set for himself.
He's trying to get to
huge lofty
Mars.
goals, trying to colonize Mars, and he's trying to you know, make it so that the planet has, you know, is almost entirely made up of electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Right. And but it's for, at least from what he says, it's for good reason, right? It's
Right.
for, you know, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so Jeff Bezos, he goes out, he goes on
Yeah.
vacations.
Yeah. No
He
doubt.
has that young girl, and he's out partying.
He's a
So
trip.
yeah, I don't think he's probably equally intelligent, but I don't think he's like, you know, doing
Yeah.
this
He
stuff.
he does things a different way, but
Yeah.
I mean, they have a. I don't know. I don't think Jeff Bezos has the same charisma as Elon Musk. Elon Musk has a charisma, you know? I think
Yeah,
people appreciate that about him. His frankness. Um,
yeah. I think he's
it's
just
like
very.
it's like he's an alien or some shit.
Mhm.
He's like, offer me more money. I don't care.
Mhm.
Shit like that. Like, well, because who
Right,
could offer you more money than what you already fucking have, dude? Like, no way.
right.
You know what I mean? I think that was his point, though. But I think that Jeff Bezos' personality is not like that. When you put him in front of a camera, he's just like, nah, you don't want to listen to him. Steve Jobs, you could listen to Steve Jobs even if you didn't like some of his stuff, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like these people that change the world through through the things they get into and the decisions that they make. It's pretty interesting, man.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
It's dope.
yeah. I mean,
You think they're gonna do is Cybertruck gonna make it?
um,
What's your take? Do you like it or not?
I'm one of the few. I'm one of those weird ones. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. In fact, I reserved one.
Hell yeah.
Um, but I think that he's gotten a really bad rap, like because he's
Yeah.
stuck in this weird place because it's like political now.
Right.
So left, like super left leaning liberals hate him
Yeah.
because he's come out as a Trump supporter.
Right.
But then the right wing leaning people who buy F-150s and the big trucks and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they don't like the fact that it's an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So he's
Mhm.
stuck in this weird place right now. But I think he's smart enough to obviously to recognize that, and I
Right.
think he's figuring out a way to get beyond that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's an interesting take on why the Cybertruck is what it is. I mean, the price went up ridiculous, but the production wasn't super high, anyways, on it.
yeah,
Which I thought,
but again, those are not mass produced.
yep,
Those are just production, the first production runs.
yeah,
And so now that they're starting to like ramp up production, I think once they get it to a point where it's like um, where they're just pumping them out like they are with the Model
yeah,
Ys and Model 3, I think it's going to be up to them to change the perception of it, right?
yeah,
Because it's actually a very utilitarian vehicle. It's not just a weird looking
right.
truck. It's not just something you're going to drive down the street just to get people to look at you.
Well, they're all over the place down here.
Yeah, but it actually, if you're somebody who drives a truck and uses the truck, it actually is very useful.
Yeah,
But people need to understand that. And
yeah,
also, um, when it comes to electric vehicles, like I think a lot of people they have these terrible misconceptions. Like um, I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want a Tesla because everything's made in China." And I'm like, well, only the Chinese Teslas that the Chinese people in
yeah,
China buy are made in China.
yeah.
The American Teslas are actually the most American vehicles. They have the most
Yeah.
American parts by all American workers.
The second most American vehicle is the Toyota Tundra.
Exactly.
Aside from
Right.
Tesla,
Right.
because they make
It's
that
a
in
solid
Texas.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they
Um,
make it in Texas. They make it for
right.
Americans.
Right. And so they need to do a better PR like
That's a real
job.
truck.
Like they don't. I think that
Yeah,
they don't realize that a lot of people they also think you're gonna just like run out of battery in the middle of the freeway. And,
yeah.
I've never had that happen at all. I've been all over California in mine. Like the other day, it was funny. I
Because
was kind of
it's like a still sorry, it's still a vehicle. So it still looks like a car. It still operates like a car. But kind of back to my point about Tesla, like these guys are pushing the limit of what is a car. What is
yeah,
it? And they're so the system of operating an electric vehicle, particularly a Tesla, the other vehicles that I know of that are not on a network that really tells you like, hey, your next Tesla superchargers right here. Let me plan your trip for you real quick. The other electric vehicles like Rivian and some of the others that are big, they're not as networked like that. And
right.
so it's a different system than the gas station, highways, and interstate systems that most 99% of people that drive a vehicle are used to. So it's hard for them to conceptualize what does it mean to operate a Tesla? Why is it different? They just don't
Mhm.
understand that because it's foreign to them. You
Well,
know?
if you're somebody who own, okay, the Tesla is good for somebody who owns a home and has a charger,
Yeah.
like installed in their home, and then who goes to work in the morning and comes home at night.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people, right?
Mhm.
Those people, they charge it overnight. They go to work the next day. They can drive all over the place, pick their kids
Yep.
up. They can go visit their friend. They can do whatever they want. Come back and still have like 50% battery.
Yeah.
Plug it back in, do it the next day. You never have to wait in line for gas. You never have to pay for gas.
Yep.
And it costs you about, like, to get a full charge on a supercharger. And I'm talking about charging at home.
A place you stop.
If you do go to a supercharger, it costs like $20 to fill up.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like a quarter tank of gas.
Yeah. And also the ride itself is way smoother than
I know.
most ICE vehicles.
It's the fastest accelerating vehicle you're ever going to drive.
It's extremely smooth. It's extremely fast. All the controls are right in front of you. The entertainment system, everything about it, in my opinion, is better.
Yeah.
You know, and I've owned a ton of different vehicles. This is my first electric vehicle.
Nice.
You know, so like, I don't know, man. I'm just a big supporter of them. I think they really understand what people need and what people will eventually want.
No doubt.
The other day, actually, it's funny. I was driving and I kind of like was just like zoning off, thinking about something, and I kind of like started going into this guy's lane, and he honks at me. So I'm like, "It's this dude in like a Toyota Tundra." So
a bro.
I waved at him. I'm like, my bad, you know. And then he's like, flips me off, right?
Yeah.
So
typical.
I'm like, whatever, man. I just kept going. He catches up to me. He flips me off again. And I'm like, I get off the exit and he gets off the exit. And then we stop. And I roll my window and I said, I'm like, hey, man. I said, my bad, but what's your problem? He goes, you're the problem. I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, the way you're driving. He's like, in your fancy little electric car. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. You're mad at me because I have an electric car. Like that's making you mad. It's ruining your day. You see somebody in a Tesla, it's like messing up your day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so funny. That guy probably has a long list of biases that are just like hilarious.
But he's one of those guys who probably like just has all these like ideas of what, like, oh, Tesla is just like, you know, it's just like a piece of shit made in China with bad build quality that's going to break down on the freeway. And, you know, every driver of a Tesla thinks they're better than me. Like, you know.
No, that's the Prius drivers.
It used to be. Now it's Tesla.
Now it's the Tesla. Yeah, it's okay now. Shawn, you going to get a Tesla, bro? Would you?
I'd like regular cars, like just regular cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got you.
At the gas station, get a little cup of coffee.
You like the whole experience?
You'll get one. He's gonna get one.
Maybe
it's gonna take a while.
I like trucks. I like trucks. I'm a pickup type of dude. Like
everything you're telling me right now, dude, you're never gonna be able to do in California anymore.
Yeah.
Your overlord Gavin Newsom and his best friends are gonna tell you'll never have a pickup truck ever again.
I have a feeling they're gonna find a middle ground. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think what they tend to do is they go extreme and then they pull back a little bit.
They always do that out here in Cali.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either. It's fucking stupid, but
I think you're never gonna not have ICE vehicles. You know.
Yeah.
They're gonna always exist, and I think they play an important part. But I'm just saying, like, as far as convenience and just ride everything.
Bro, if I had it like I could, I'd be on a Cybertruck all the time, pissing everybody off on purpose.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then they'd be flipping me off. They flip me off and cuss me out. And be like, hold on. I'd record it and I'd put it on the beat and I'd be making the beat right there with them.
Yep.
Ding, ding. I was like, thank you for that ad lib right there. I put them in the beat. You know? Featured.
Like somebody that actually does like truck type of stuff.
Yeah.
Using Cybertruck, and they pull up like they have their toolbox in the back and it's all like dirty. He's like, bro, please don't do this truck. Get a regular pickup truck.
No, that's the thing. You can do all that stuff.
No, you can. But
some of it is
put a dent in that thing,
It's
man.
like people go out of their way to like make the Cybertruck fail on their videos so they can
Yeah.
get likes or whatever. See, like, aha, gotcha, that
Right.
kind of thing. There's this one dude though that fucking took this old ass Chevy, Silverado, and a Cybertruck, and this is what his whole channel is all about, is just fucking shit up. And he's like running it off ramps and fucking. At one point of it, he literally slapped C4 onto the back of both of them and blew them up to see which one could do what.
Mhm.
The only problem was that critical failure with a computer-based car is a higher risk than the older, more mechanical-based cars, right? So, because the computer, a lot of things can jack up a computer, and when the computer interface is jacked up in a electric vehicle, especially in a Cybertruck, like I was saying, it's so much a part of its identity and its operating system that then it fails and you can't do
Right.
anything. And that's kind of what happened. Like, yeah, it endured and passed the test of all the truck shit, but I think at the end of the day, that's the greatest risk that you have with those kind of things, is if that computer goes down, there ain't much shit you can do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not many people can repair a computer as much as they can um, the mechanical side of cars, right?
Yeah.
So like you call somebody in, hey, I need help with this. Yet, I'm sure we'll get to a point where that will be less of a risk, and maybe those will be more interchangeable, right? So like I would say it would be a good idea, and they better pay me if they fucking do this. But like, let's just say, just like the keys to your car, that I pull into my Tesla and I have my backup or my thing, and it connects to the car.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a backup version of what's already in there, and I can dismantle it. I got this new one thing, and then I'm back in the system. You know what I'm saying? Of like whatever's operating the car. I don't know the inner workings. I just know the general thing. But I think that it could be a solution, and they probably have a bunch of other course of action that they could take. But
Yeah, I think we gotta remember that they're still like in their infancy. Like they're
yeah,
still so new, and they're also introducing this new era
yeah,
of like transportation,
exactly.
this new form of transportation. And I think it's so difficult for people who, I mean, if you really think about like what is petroleum, like what is an internal combustion engine? It's just
Right.
something that like we've been over time, we just accept that as like the standard, the normal, like that's
Yeah.
that's just normal, right? And it's so hard for us to
Well,
accept something as
not
that
only
deviates.
that, it's just a deeply entrenched system.
Yeah.
Like gas money, not gas money that we spend not only fuels the car, it fuels the economy.
Right.
And so the economy being fragile, that if you take gas out of the system rapidly, then your economy runs out of gas, literally.
Yeah.
And so I think there's the economic side of things, that's what really is going to slow progress and change in this field, because the world runs on gas, bro. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
so influential. That's what they always say, war for oil and all this other bullshit. There's some truth to that, but not as big as many people make it out to be. I think that's the big barrier, right? Because of the economic stakes that are involved in that kind of stuff. And then the current state of electric cars is like primary methods of powering this thing is on a lithium based battery,
Mhm.
and you probably have more lithium than you have petroleum. It's probably easier to access and harvest than it is petroleum, less risky, right? But
Yeah.
even that's finite. So there's no like fully sustainable system that's known out there. So I
Right.
think I think the arguments that they take for this green shit or whatever political line they have are kind of bogus in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they might be embellished a little bit, but
Yeah.
like I think I think over time, like they've done significant studies, and they say over the time of ownership of like maybe after like 4 years of owning a gas vehicle versus they did this with a Tesla, but versus a Tesla,
Yeah.
they said the impact on the environment is like far less with the
Yeah.
Tesla.
But
Yeah.
that's true, but then there's also metrics that have not been measured. What happens at the end of the vehicle's life? How do they dispose of these lithium batteries? How
The
do
battery
these other
is fully
components and things like
recyclable.
that? Right, that's what I'm saying. Like these are parts of things that they have to figure out down the road. You know what I'm saying? Like there's other aspects to that that are not fully tested out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can you get all the parts over here? Then are you gonna then what? Make electric cargo ships that ship all the
Yeah.
aspects that go into the supply chain. It's a huge fucking endeavor. I don't know if we'll see that big full change in our lifetime, but I'm thinking our kids and our grandkids probably will see a different future of some things like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, anyways, speak Shawn, you all right over there? Ready to wrap
Yeah,
this one up, brother?
Let's do it.
Okay,
wrap it down.
cool, man. You guys got any key takeaways you want to throw? Your thoughts, Shawn? You want to start?
Wrap my thoughts.
Final thoughts, key takeaways on our conversation.
Stay healthy.
Yeah,
For
stay
real.
healthy. Health over everything.
Yeah, take care of yourself, and you know the rest will be here. It was here before us. It'll be here after us.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, just come out here and life is a gift, and make sure you give some back.
Give it, pay it forward, and try new things that make you uncomfortable.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah,
And
keep
make sure-
learning, keep growing.
Yeah, make sure you have your top 5 fucking figured out
Yeah,
Definitely.
in case you get picked up.
yeah, do amazing shit. Listen to great stuff, and you know what I mean. Stay away from Diddy
No Diddy.
and like bullshit ass rappers.
And I would say appreciate more and criticize less.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Your life will be better.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And not everybody's an artist. Some of you fools are just whatever. No.
Other categories, right? Like takers,
Yeah,
connectors.
The takers? Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of takers out here.
Oh man, yeah.
Can we add a category? Can we add fakers?
Right.
Yeah.
People that pretend, Fuck those guys. They suck.
And usually they're pretending to be creators, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
No one's gonna pretend to be a taker.
That's well, unless they're trying to fit in with the takers.
Undertakers.
That's right. I had a good chat with you guys. Shaw, thanks for coming back, bro. We definitely
Hell
love
yeah,
having
bro.
you come through on the show and talk about your life and talk about big shit with us and have a good time, man. It's always good, you guys always get to hang out, so that's always a cool day anywhere we're at, right? Get to hang with the bros. Yeah,
It's
man.
winter outside. It's cold out here.
I got a sweater on, bro. It's getting real. The
Right.
SoCal's not that cold though, so I'm just pretending. This is just for the swag. All right, say goodbye to the A's for me.
You're
And,
so cal, man.
I know, bro. It's crazy. All right, y'all. Well, let's close this thing up. Again, we say it every time. You need to protect your heart, protect your mind. Shawn, what else they need to protect?
Protect your neck. No, protect your pin code.
Protect that pin code. All right, y'all. Peace. See you next time.
Yay.